It's AEK Larnaca against West Ham United in the Europa Conference League. Kick-off an hour and 5 minutes away. But lineups are not 5 minutes away. They're out now because we're playing in European football. They come out nice and early. So we're going to dive straight in with the West Ham starting 11 tonight. In goal, we've got Alphonse Areola with a back four of Aaron Cresswell at left back. And we've got a Gerd and Zuma in the middle with Thilo Kehrer playing right back. In midfield, we've got Flynn Downs partnering Declan Rice alongside Pablo Finales, Manuel Lanzini and Said Benrahma, and Mikel Antonio leading the line for the Hammers this evening in Cyprus. Gonzo, what's your thoughts?
Yeah, I mean, the composition of the team is, not precisely what we predicted, but we did our breakfast show on Patreon this morning, and we did say probably, a smattering of first teamers and some squad players. So I think that's precisely what we've got there, really. And how he was going to do it and how he was going to mix it up, I don't know. But you'd have to say Areola, Gerd, Rice, Benrahma, Antonio are sort of first teamers at the moment, if you like. Maybe you could argue whether Antonio is or not. So, yeah, exactly what we thought. And I don't even know. I didn't know the team up until the point you read it out. I'm pretty sure the other guys who we would also consider to be first teamers are the ones that are on the bench.
What do you make of Mikel Antonio as a striker? That's a big talking point. Just for confirmation, I'll read the bench out in a few minutes, but Danny Ings and Gianluca Scamacca are both on the bench for West Ham tonight.
Well, they've clearly had a falling out. There's no doubt in my mind that Scamacca and Moyes have fallen out. So I think, as I've mentioned on a few occasions now, I would expect Scamacca to leave at the end of the season. Look, some players can come out and criticise the manager and the way they play. Others can't. So I would imagine, reading between the lines, Scamacca has probably said some stuff that David Moyes doesn't like. It's probably exactly the same stuff that everybody else has been saying, but, and got leaked to the newspapers and whatnot. But you know what he's like. He doesn't deal with everybody in the same way, So Moyes is probably will allow a few snide comments, let's say, about his tactics from players that he deems to be undroppable from someone like Scamacca. He might be saying exactly the same thing. Or you're out. I think the relationship has probably deteriorated beyond repair anyway. And I can't see any way that Scamacca plays with us. I think he'll feature this season a little bit because Moyes won't totally cut his nose off to spite his face. But as far as starts for Scamacca now until the end of the season, I don't think you'll see too many of them.
In regards to the starting 11, disappointing not to see Ben Johnson start. I know he played bad against Brighton, but that's why I wanted to see him start tonight. Play him through it, get him sort of hopefully have a good game under his belt. I would assume that maybe Moyes is testing a back four for the Villa game tonight. The Emerson Cresswell debate we could have, but I think the other three is possibly what he'd be looking to do against Aston Villa. I think Kehrer will start against Villa because of what Ben Johnson did. So that's the back four. It should be fine enough. That back four should be fine this evening. The midfield should be fine. There should be enough creativity in there. We should be able to control possession in there. The big issue is the striker, really. Antonio did not play well against Man United. We had a couple of opportunities. They both fell to him, and he squandered both of them. It's as simple as that, really. Would I have liked to see Scamacca? Yes, but I think if you weren't going to play Scamacca, then play Danny Ings and let's get a couple of goals, hopefully. Part of me was thinking maybe it's because he's going to use
Scamacca. You sounded like the start of an Oasis song then.
Yeah.
You actually sang it.
That's what I do. A serenade.
Maybe. Something like that, really, wasn't
it? So part of me thought maybe
I love it.
David Moyes was intended on using Scamacca against Aston Villa, but I can't even convince myself that is the case here, and it's just a selection choice that David Moyes would prefer to play Mikel Antonio rather than give Scamacca minutes. Now, of course, Scamacca's coming back from injury, so you could argue he's sort of being drip-fed into the team. But if that was the case, then this is the right time to do it. Now is when you do it. You put him in from the start. But also, we basically sped up Scamacca's recovery time as well as Danny Ings' by injecting both of the players at the same time to get them over their injuries because we were desperate. And I just think, well, if I was Scamacca, I think I'd be furious that you've taken this risk with my health, if you like. And I'm not getting any game time off the back of it. At least Danny Ings has had the injections and he's gone straight back into the team. It's justified sort of skipping or sort of just trying to speed up his recovery process. But with Scamacca's one, I was saying, hang on a minute, there was no need for me to go through all that. And I could have gone through my rehabilitation a little bit safer and slower and ended up with the same game time. So it's a bit frustrating, really. And it's just a bit it was a good opportunity to play Scamacca tonight, I think, and we haven't taken it. But I mean, it should be enough to win, surely.
Well, definitely, maybe, mate. I think we should. Sorry, beg your pardon. Beg your pardon.
Right, the West Ham bench this evening. We've got Heggie and Inang on there, as well as Ben Johnson, Gianluca Scamacca, Lucas Paqueta, Maxwell Cornet, Danny Ings, Jared Bowen. We've got Angelo Ogbonna, Thomas Souček, and Emerson as well.
Okay, well, Cornet on there. That's good. That's good. Yeah. What can you say? I can understand Ogbonna not playing as well, but he's played a lot of games, Ogbonna. That's the other thing here. I think it's a bit of a toss-up, really, as to whether you would play Ogbonna or Zuma, and I think there's negatives to playing both. But that's another reason that you might want to use Johnson in this side. Johnson can play as a centre-back, So, and it's also another reason why, he's sort of... Well, he's put himself in this position, really, Moyes, by not using the youngsters along the way. He's now found himself in a position where he hasn't sort of groomed a fullback from the under-21s or something like that. And a time, actually, this is where you could probably do with that. Okay, let's chuck our young right back or our left back in here. Johnson going at centre half. We can then rest. Because playing a Gerd and Zuma is a risk. There's no doubt about it. We can then rest one of those, and if need be, they can come on. So, I don't know. What can you do? The bench is
very strong.
The bench is strong, and Paqueta on there. He can really do what he wants, but he's clearly trying to juggle it so as he can keep some fresh legs for the Aston Villa game. But I mean, there's no doubt about it. David Moyes wants to win this tie. I think let's just say that he's not done.
I was going to say, had Scamacca started ahead of Antonio, I'd be sitting here saying this is arguably the best 11 he could put out within reason. Is it his first choice? No, but in terms of being responsible, looking after who's going to play against Aston Villa, giving game time to those who need it, i.e. Scamacca and Kurt Zuma, and having Cornet available on the bench, I think he would have nailed it. So, bar the striker, that's my only version. Like I said, I would have preferred to see Ben Johnson, but I get it. And if he is going to play Kedder against Villa, and I'm guessing here, then he's probably doing the right thing playing him tonight alongside Zuma and Aguerd to see how they get on and stuff. So, I think, I get it.
Yeah, absolutely. I think Kehrer should be more than good enough to play in this. I mean, absolutely.
You don't get it. You've missed the joke, haven't you?
Sorry. Oh, he's good. He's good.
He says Scamacca must be thinking his time with us is all a blur.
Oh,
Don't worry,
I like it.
I
like it.
it.
Yeah, that's there. Yes, absolutely. He needs to calm down, does he? Don't want him looking back in anger at his time at West Ham, that's for sure.
Oh, dear God. Right, let's have a look at how AEK Larnaca are lining up this evening. Piric is in goal, and it looks like they're playing a back four. According to the UEFA Europa League app, however, they do have West Ham playing 5 at the back with Fernand's left back, so take this with a pinch of salt. But according to the app, Casas is right back with Milicevic and Tomovic at centre back with Englezu left back. In midfield, they've got Mamas and Ledes with Rosales, Sajulo, Yakolis, and Lopez up front.
Well done.
Thank you. I butchered one badly, but apart from that,
I liked it. I was like, as soon as I read them out, this is going to be interesting.
Now, I'm not going to read out the Larnaca bench, but Charlie will pop it up on the screen for you. So there's the Larnaca bench. Have a read yourself. I'm not doing that. There's a Gonzo.
Styliandis, Gonzalez, Christoforu, Andrew, Narum. Oh, I like that. Trikovsky. That's a good name. Trikovsky's got to be good. You've got to be good with a name like Trikovsky. When he's got coloured boots.
When I spoke to Stel ahead of this game, he picked out one player, and that's Farage, who is on the bench for them tonight. Farage was that one.
He don't like playing in Europe.
Well, actually, yeah. Someone picked up. Somebody made a. I wish I knew who it was. I could credit him with this joke because it was really good. When I did the video, someone in the comments said, "Farage's right wing. I never."
There you go. There you go.
Yeah, there you go. It wasn't Major that made the joke, but along that joke.
Yeah. I like it. I like it. Yeah. And to be fair, they got Ant-Man in there as well, I noticed. So that's if you can have a Marvel hero in you, well, keep one on the bench. That really is a strong but small bench with Ant-Man on there.
Joshua says Makes no sense to play Antonio in a game where we should be dominating the ball, but Scamacca is much better in possession, unless, of course, we're going to sit back. But Moyes is going to be Moyes. What do you say?
Yeah, I don't know. I was just actually thinking about someone typed Evram in. What can you do? What can you do? I'll tell you what I will say. Downs, Rice, and Lanzini, that controls the midfield for me. Not that I know anything
about. And
about.
Fornals will hopefully drop in there as well.
He probably won't. He'll probably hang around on the wing just to double up. He'll probably play as a double. What you need is 2 left backs.
Protect Lucero.
Oh, it protects everyone. Do you know what I mean? I bet Moyes probably sends him out with a pair of gloves. Go on, boy. Go there. Stand next to one of the other 4 goalkeepers and just that's it. It's honestly he's gradually working his way back. By the time working his way, starts off as an attacker, and he becomes a midfielder, and then he's going to become a defender, goalkeeper. By the time he's finished, he'll be a photographer sitting behind the goal.
Brilliant. John, the game is on BT Sport, so it'll be live on there for any subscriber of BT Sport. Hammer 1999 says all very good technical players, bar Zuma and Antonio, so ball progression will be good. Really like the midfield 3, creative and back lane. Feel there's a space up for grabs for the weekend in midfield. There should be, right? There should be there's got to be an incentive for those playing tonight to get a reward, which is start at the London Stadium on Sunday.
Well, absolutely. I totally agree. Yeah, that is the incentive. That's what you've got to do if you're David Moyes. It has to mean something. There's no, this messaging has been wrong for so long with him, which it doesn't matter how well you play. You're not getting into the team. You're not one of my chosen 11 or whatever it is. That would be a really good message for him to be out with. You play well today, whatever it is. You pull off a string of good saves, whatever. You're man of the match and you're the defender, or you score goals, get assists. You're in the team. That has to be the messaging. It's just you're going to lack motivation. Flynn Downs, doesn't matter how well you play, Flynn. Souček starting in the next game. And to be fair, I think Flynn Downs' attitude probably perfectly fine. He'll probably go out and play exactly the same way. But it'd be nice to think for Lanzini that if he had an absolute worldie today, he got a couple of assists and scored an overhead kick or whatever the case may be, that he takes Paqueta's place for the weekend. It would be good. That's just competition for places. I would like to think that. I don't think that will happen.
Hammer Boy, I've put the bench on the screen. I'm not going to read it out again, but the West Ham bench is on the screen there, so you can have a little read. I'll leave up for a minute, because while you are doing that, myself and Gonzo are going to compile a little bet, and if the bet wins, we're going to give one of you the cash. So tonight we've had to jump over to Sky Bet, because Paddy Power and Bet365 aren't offering player shots, and I like player shots. So Gonzo, is there anything you fancy? And do you fancy us to score 2 goals, by the way?
I do fancy us to score 2 goals.
Well, that's excellent news. So let's put that in.
It doesn't mean we're going to it, but I just...
And West Ham to win. So that's what we'll do.
Is that it?
Well, no, I mean, that's only even money. So we're going to, unless we're putting £50 on this, and I don't think we should be doing that. But
what happens if you put £50 down and with that?
Well, somebody would win £100, but...
Well, you want to get your stake back. You want to get your stake.
Exactly. So let's not encourage irresponsible gambling.
No, don't gamble.
What do you fancy? Do you fancy anyone to have a shot on target with that?
I fancy Antonio to have a shot off target. Can we do that one?
No, you cannot do that one. I'll tell you who you can. No, you can have. You can have Benrahma, you can have Antonio, you can have Fornals.
Benrahma, a soft shot on target.
Lanzini is quite good odds for a shot on target.
Yeah, a soft shot on target from Benrahma. Let's have that one.
Okay, right. Anything else you fancy? Who do you think will score for us?
Oh, blimey. It's hard to look at that. I think anyone will score. Let's have a go at a Gerd, first goal.
Why do you always do this?
I don't always do this. I've never said a Gerd before in my life.
Yeah, but you always pick something. We always start sensibly, then you just get bored and decide to throw something in stupid,
yes.
Right?
Yeah, that is definitely one of my characteristics, yeah.
Right, we're going to do a Gerd to have a shot on target, because that's good odds. We'll put that in there. That'll do. It's just tough to find value in these, because I don't know what they're like.
A Gerd to score is where the value's at.
Right, we'll have 5 corners for West Ham and let's just assume they'll kick us to bits and put that in there as well. So that'll do. It's quite a big bet, and it's not very good value tonight, but £115 if this wins. £115 cash if this happens. West Ham to win. West Ham to score at least 2 goals. Ben Raminagur to have a shot on target. West Ham to take at least 5 corners, and Larnaca to get 2 yellow cards or 1 red card. And £150 cash to enter in the live chat. Please put the following phrase.
Ladies and gentlemen.
Where's his name?
What's on the bench?
Oh, there you go. Ladies and gentlemen, it's on the screen there. That's the spelling. So get that into there. Anyway, Gonzo, you've seen the starting lineup, so you happy?
Yeah, I guess so. I guess so. As much as you can be. I mean, it's difficult at the moment. I'd probably. I'm so annoyed with the club, with the messaging from the club. Thank you, Dan. With the way David Moyes is managing, and honestly, I think David Moyes could turn up at my front door with a hamper of vegetables, some of my favourite sweets, and just basically and an envelope full of cash, and I'd still pick fault with him, to be fair. So I'm annoyed with Moisey at the moment. So I think it's easy to pick holes in his team. I understand why he's picked Antonio. He's picked Antonio because he decided Antonio is going to be his second striker from now until the remainder of the season. He wants to keep him fit. So I do like the mid. I'm trying to think of positives. I like the midfield. I think the midfield, they're all comfortable on the ball, and it's again, I could pick apart his defence. Really, let's hope that they can't pick apart his defence. But I understand his reason. He's got to play somebody, and I would have done it differently myself. Our team should be good enough to beat their team. If it's not, then we're in even more trouble than we thought. Really.
I'm looking forward to it. I've been looking forward to today since maybe Tuesday. Yesterday. I would have been since Saturday night, but I've been grumpy since the Brighton defeat. So it took a couple of days for me to get over that and stop having the hump. But in the last couple of days, I really look forward to tonight. I think it's a really good opportunity. I think, like I said, bar the striker, I think the team's pretty much perfect. I understand why you picked Antonio. I don't disagree with your reasoning, which is he's possibly our second choice striker, but that's what scares me, if anything. I think maybe tonight I was looking for a little bit of evidence that Scamacca had a big role to play between now and the end of the season, and it's a bit disappointing. I guess if he makes an early substitution and Scamacca is the first substitute to come on, then that might give me a little bit of hope, but it's just a bit frustrating, really. And I agree with what 1999 said. We should be controlling this game. There's a lot of players comfortable in possession. Creswell's been poor recently, but only because he's slow. If you take away his lack of pace, and he's been fine in possession, he has been good, so he should be fine there. The centre backs, that's our first choice centre back pairing on paper. If all our centre backs are fully fit, play to the top of their ability, and all the partnerships are similar level, you would go with Zoom and Aguerd. So let's see that tonight. I want to see a clean sheet for them. It could be quite comfortable in the Conference League group stage games. The defence has been largely untested. We saw Aguerd cruising through the games that he played. Ogbonna did the same as well. And Kera right back. I'm a little bit worried that that's his plan for Villa, because it could work tonight, because we will be expected to have large parts of the ball, large parts of possession, where he will be able to get forward, and he does look good in possession. Kera is good with the ball at his feet. It's his positioning and laziness that I'm a little bit worried about. I don't know if that'll get exposed tonight. When I spoke to Stell, he said Larnaca like to get the ball wide, like to get the fullbacks up and get loads of crosses in, so potentially, but Kera could play well tonight and then play exactly the same way against Villa on Sunday and really struggle. But we'll deal with that in the Villa preview that we record tomorrow. The midfield I'm really happy with. Really happy. Rice, Downs, Fornals, Lanzini, delighted with that. If they struggle tonight, then that's on the players, really. There's no excuse for them not to do well. So I'm really looking forward to it, Gonzo. I think we need this. We need a win. We need a comfortable win. Just to get, as you would call it, get everyone's peckers up ahead of Sunday's game. So yeah, I'm feeling good. I'm feeling good.
I'd say he's going to have, old Scamacca will have the full droop on, though, quite frankly, at the moment. There's going to be no pecker popping up for him, I feel, anytime soon. And the trouble is when you've got someone Hopefully I'm wrong. Hopefully he brings Scamacca on. Scamacca comes on with a big smiley face, looks motivated, scores lots of goals, and everyone has a big huddle at the end, and they're all high fiving. I suspect, though, things are not quite as happy as that at the moment, and it's a shame. And I think if that's happening, you've got someone that's completely. Do you know what? I was going to say somebody is completely demoralised. We've had players that are demoralised before. Ben Rama, I felt there's been times when Ben Rama has been demoralised by his treatment under Moyes. But there's a massive difference being around somebody who's demoralised and has a sort of quiet character, which I believe Ben Rama is, and being around someone who is completely fed up, who's a strong character, because that's not a healthy environment to be in. And if what you've got is you've annoyed someone and they're demonstrative, which I would imagine Scamacca probably is you probably know instantly when Scamacca walks into a room. We all know people like this, but you probably know instantly what mood Scamacca is in when he walks into a room. He's unlikely to keep himself to himself. And so I do, Moyes, the onus on Moyes to manage these situations. This is man management. I hope I'm wrong. But I find it hard in a game like this. We've been very lucky with the draw here. I find it hard with a game like this to justify leaving out your £35 million summer signing, your striker, your international striker, when you've been trying to coax him back for the last little while. This was the game. This is it. And for him not to do it, I think is not great.
Interesting. Right, it's time for you guys to get involved. So if you're watching in the live chat, please put your thoughts. It can be on the West Ham team. It can only really be on the West Ham team. If anyone posts about Larnaca, I'm not clicking on it because I don't know if it's true or not. I don't want to be tricked. We see you out there. So get your thoughts in about the lineup. Charlie's done the poll as well, so get involved with that if you haven't done so already. Funnily enough, against Brighton, we had our most positive results of a lineup reaction from the live chat yet, and then look how that turned out. So get your thoughts in. I think I know how it's going to go, and we'll take a look at what you're saying, how you see the game going, but keep your score prediction out of it. But quickly, a thank you to Bobby66.
Thanks, Rob.
£5 super chat. Says some random chocolate bars for the Hammers chat team. Myself and Gonzo did a mug of tea during the week, and there was a lot of chocolate talk, lime bars and picnics and whatnot.
Picnics says a little bit.
And thank you to Susan. Says £5 for Gonzo's headache. Move the coffee table away. We're in danger of nodding off our way.
The marks, it's that size, isn't it? Yeah,
a breakfast show joke there.
Yeah, I did. It is true though. But thank you, Susan. And my headache has gone because I have actually taken some paracetamol before this.
Taylor says, how hasn't starting Scamacca is baffling. Can't see him starting for the Villa game, so I don't get it. Dave says, Moyes is picking a team to get a win that protects him for a loss against Villa. 2 keepers on the bench again. Steve says, if Scamacca was staying beyond this season, he would be in the starting 11. He is leaving. See, if that's true, which I'm not saying it's not Steve, by the way, I'm not saying I disagree with you. If that was true, this is where it gets a little bit dangerous retaining David Moyes, because by the time the season comes to conclusion, the damage could already be done in regards to some players wanting out regardless, and this is where it gets a little bit risky. Ben with an interesting question. If we're winning comfortably, do you send on Ogbonna and Downs to get a yellow card so they miss the second leg rather than the quarter final? Those two are, as he's correct here, those two players are 1 yellow card away from a 1-game suspension.
Well, yeah, I mean, good idea. I haven't seen any evidence that Moyes can do anything remotely tactical. So the chances of him looking at Nolan's iPad and Nolan saying, "Go on, tell him to go and do that." I just don't think we're that cerebral, to be honest with you. And to be fair, I don't want to go out and injure some. You could actually.
Hang on, he didn't say injury.
He didn't. He didn't. I know he didn't. I know he didn't. That's all. Right, but my point is, you go out and actually try and foul someone to get a red card or something, you might end up injuring them. I don't think it's a great thing to do.
You could just pick the ball up.
With your what?
You get a yellow card. You can just pick it up, pick the ball up in the middle of the game. Just go there, in 90th minute, pick it up and go yellow card. Oh, sorry, ref. Thought I heard you blow the whistle. My bad. Here's the ball back.
Oh, I like that.
Yeah, or you just time waste. Just Downs goes to take the free kick and just stand there. Rest. Just hurry up. Say, I'll pretend. Oh, yellow card. Oh, well then. Now I play. You don't have to snap someone's legs.
I'd like to see this. I want to see this stuff. This contrived. I may
be rude with Ogbonna. I'm not so sure about Downs because I think the second leg, even if we won comfortably tonight, you would still play Flynn Downs in the second leg because you'd rest Declan Rice, wouldn't you? So if Downs was to get a book in, you'd have to almost play Declan in the second leg, even if you won comfortably. So yeah,
he's very capable of getting a card all by his own steam. Flynn Downs, by the way, he's a feisty little character. I like him. So he might get a card anyway.
After Brighton, I'd take seeing a mild amount of interest in the game from the players. Just passing would do.
No, I think it means them giving a passing. Just them caring. Okay. Just them giving a damn. That's what he's saying. I just wish they'd give a damn.
Mary Poppins, thank you, says, I don't want to see Paqueta even on the bench. His shoulder is brittle.
Supercalifragilisticexpialidocious, Mary. Thank you for the tenner.
You should do that as your phrase one day.
Yeah, I don't want to type it.
That just caused a little bit of chaos. Guy says we need a clean sheet. Defender's been very poor. Zuma, Downs, and Creswell are positives.
Yeah. There are positives. It's hard. It's hard to there are positives about the team. It's a good team. I think we'll win. It's just hard. We're a bit down the dumps, a bit grumpy, aren't we? Because it's all been pretty crap recently.
Kevin says his brother told him that if get relegated, parachute payments stay the same, and the Scamacca refused to travel. Well, he was lying about Scamacca. He sat on the bench. Ariola wanting to go, possibly. His cousin's kicking around West Ham fans at the minute in Cyprus. Ariola's cousin's in among the West Ham fans.
Is he? I like
yes,
that.
I won't say anything else, but Ariola's cousin's been chatting to West Ham fans ahead of tonight's game. That's all I'm going to say. Tim says we've suffered some bizarre lineups and subs. By the way, what I will say about that parachute payments, Kevin, I could be wrong. I think you only get them in your second season. I think if you go down and come back straight away, I don't think you actually get any parachute payments. But I could be wrong. We'll cover it if we get relegated. So hopefully it's not something we need to look at.
We don't want to be doing that video. It's bad times if we're doing a parachute payments video on Hammers Chat.
Yeah. Europe says Moyes wants to win this. He knows he's out in the summer and wants a trophy. Despite us battling relegation, he'd rather win something and get us relegated than make us stay up.
I'm feeling a bit of that myself, actually. I'm getting that feeling. I really am. And the other thing, we'll talk about it in other videos about, even if David Moyes gets us relegated, he still keeps. You sort of get the impression that's happening on both sides. Honestly, you get the impression David Moyes could steal David Sullivan's Rolls Royce, take his wife out for a spin as well, crash the Rolls Royce, and then Sullivan would still say, you get to keep the job, Moisey boy. Do you know what I mean? It's hard to see a set of circumstances where anything else happens. I'm really suspicious about stuff at the moment now. I've gone conspiratorial.
This is Stel, who I spoke to. If you see my video from yesterday, this is Stel, who's the fan of Cypriot football, gave us a little bit of a lowdown on Larnaca. He said that West Ham will get a bit of joy down their right-hand side. I think Glazou's at their first choice left back and is a little bit nervous. So there you go.
Thank you.
Probably going to be Finals down that side, isn't it? Or Lanzini, be one of the two.
Yeah, I would hope Lanzini is more central. I certainly would. But, I'd like both of them central given the choice, but I can't see it being any other way, really.
Well, here we go. Rocky Spence says, is Finals a winger better behind the striker?
Well, I think he'd probably be better behind. I'd like him a little bit deeper than that. Ideally, I just don't like him on the wing at all.
I think he'd be better like where Paqueta's been playing the last couple of games. Actually, thanks to the Oxby who's put £5 in the super chat for me to go get some lamb sips. Oh, I just have Highland Spring, flu schmoo. It doesn't bother me. I just crack on. just a bit of water. I'll be okay. The one thing's long live the bowling says you can't get excited for this game, and obviously people now talk about what TalkSport are saying, which is that Moyes could stay, we'll get relegated. I'll cover this tomorrow, and Gonzo's going to cover it on Saturday. So we have seen it. We just don't want to discuss it because that's the video content, and want to try and keep it as much about the game as possible. We do go off at a tangent sometimes, but topics like that, we'd rather discuss it on its own in one go. I know what you're Googling.
Not true, is it?
I don't know, but if it's not, we can delete it. But if it is, then...
I can't.
Anyway, while you're looking, Chris says it's ridiculous he's risking a strong team tonight. Does he just think that Scamacca's going to be fuming?
Yeah, yes, the strong side. I would have played it a little bit differently, but I do get why he's doing it. He's just got to find a balance where he plays a strong team and gets through, but it doesn't impact Aston Villa. I felt on this one that we are good enough to turn it round in the second leg, which afterwards we've then got a period of rest because there's an international break.
Yeah, I get what you're saying. I do get what you're saying. But the thing is, I think there's more to this Scamacca thing than we know, because it's not just the Moyes Scamacca thing. You have to take into consideration that his agency dropped him. That's huge. It's not a player's dropped his agency, which is a common occurrence, because usually they want to move. It doesn't happen. The player thinks, right, agent, it's your fault. Off you, but you were supposed to get me this move. Bugger off. And he goes and gets someone else. That's fine. But the agency to drop the player, I mean, that's a lot of income for the agency, especially a Premier League player like Scamacca, who will have 2-3 major transfers left in his career, possibly even more. Every time he moves, they would get paid. You'd imagine he's got a big one to Italy at some point, even if he was successful. Well, this is my own theory I'm dragging in here. But even if Scamacca was doing really well for us and he was our first choice striker, as soon as he arrived, I always thought he's going to go back to Italy at some point, because there will be an element of embarrassment that their number 9 is not playing in Italy. And Italy tried to keep the money within the country. They tend to buy off each other rather than bring in players from abroad. So I've always felt Scamacca would go back there eventually. But even if it was going to be this summer, his agent would have been coining it in again. So for them to drop him, something's happened there. Is Moyes involved in that? Possibly. But it sounds like a bit of a mess, actually, because he's not playing. He's been injured a lot. Agents dropped him. I don't know.
Well, and yeah, if there's something that we don't know about, like he's done something naughty or whatever. But if that was the case, he would have gone into a shop and taken a curly whirly without paying for it or whatever. Let's say that he hasn't. I'm just making it up. Not even allegedly, right? I'm making it up. Even if I've done that, then Moyes wouldn't put him on the bench at all, would he? If he'd done something wrong. So I think the fact he's on the bench should probably indicate he hasn't done anything wrong. I don't know.
Maybe he's just drip feeding him back into the team. He doesn't want to get injured.
Maybe
he's just hoping Antonio is good enough to score tonight.
And he might be. Antonio may well score tonight. Let's put that out there.
Stell also said Rosales isn't a winger, so he's probably playing right wing to support Sanjuro, the right back. Seems that AEK are going 4-5-1. So they're playing midfielders out on the wing as well to protect the fullback. Hey, not just David Moyes. There you go, Moyes. If you get sacked, there's a job for you in Cyprus.
Oh, lovely.
I agree with Matthew, who's responding to a previous comment, said there's 7 changes. I wouldn't really call this team at risk. I have to agree. I think it's quite a safe team, really. You know, look at the bench. The bench on the screen at the minute. There you go. Bowen, Scamacca, Ings, Paqueta, Emerson. I think it's fine. Kone on bench. Hopefully he will play tonight. Arthur says if Kone is fit, then why the hell is he not playing? Surely he needs the game time.
Yeah, I think Moyes just trying to ease him in a little by little, really.
For God's sake. Tony says, why was Zuma and Antonio tonight? Zuma's a walking injury, and Antonio had a hamstring issue last week. Why risk an injury twice as well?
Yeah. There's risk with a lot of them.
Damned if you do, damned if you don't.
Yeah, I do think that, yeah.
If he just played like a completely different 11, we'd say, well, not necessarily Tony might not, but I certainly would say, oh, hang on, Moyes, I think you're taking this a little bit light here. So I think he's got the balance right, actually. I might not agree with the personnel per se, but in terms of the balance, I think he's done all right with this one. And listen, it should be enough. I know it's a little bit, like I said, arrogant to assume because we're the Premier League team and they're the Cypriot team, it should be enough to win tonight. It has to be. If not, we've got, I say, bigger problems than we thought. Not really. It's probably what we expect. But
I think they're separate. I think there's a lot of people who are disappointed with the team who still expect us to win. I think the disappointment is not that the team is so bad we won't win. I think, you know, it's the bigger picture. And the bigger picture has got so big now, it's hard to sort of ignore it. Adam says Sunday be great. Yeah.
Adam says he may sound stupidly positive, but we will win convincingly tonight and win Sunday. Things start to look a lot brighter.
I'd agree.
Especially with Southampton at home as our next league game after the international break as well. If we win those 3, obviously we've got the second leg, but assuming we go through, then yeah, we would be, because we'd probably be sitting 12th in the league or 13th in the league or something into the quarterfinals of the Conference League. So, but to be stupidly negative, if we lost tonight and lost on Sunday, things are looking a little bit grim. Now let's get the results of the poll. Checking he's all right. He's on his phone. Are you good? Charlie's good. Right, Charlie, what's the results of the poll? What the people saying?
In the question, how do you feel about the starting 11? 9% said they were fuming. 11% said they were very happy, so expected. 24% said it's poor, and 56% said, yeah, it's all right. Yeah, it's all right. So I'm shocked. I thought it would have been less positive than that. Not that that's like overwhelmingly positive by any stretch of imagination, but I would have thought no Scamacca, other things. I would have thought people would
be pissed. The thing is, though, Charlie, that I would have liked to have seen Scamacca and Ben Johnson, but I would have had to vote that's a good lineup, because I think it still is a good lineup. Just because I don't agree with the personnel, it's still a good lineup. So
no, I mean that's fair. I mean I agree with you. To be fair, to be clear, I agree with you. But I'm pretty fine with that lineup. But I would have suspected it would have been, especially when you look at say the Patreon group chat before when the lineups came out. There was a lot of anger in there.
I think it's just
hits and wave.
I think it's the Scamacca situations overriding everything.
Yeah, I agree. I
think had Scamacca started and he took out Rice and started someone else, I think people would have been fine with the team. But because Scamacca hasn't started, it's almost like it's what got, to some extent, it's a bit like what Gonzo talks about with confirmation bias. You feel like there's an issue between Moyes and Scamacca, so Scamacca not playing is like more evidence there is an issue, and you're looking at this guy, £35 million striker on the bench, who is I would argue our best striker. And we're thinking, well, if we ain't going to get him singing, we're not going to stay up. And tonight was one of the games where it was almost a bit of a free hit to play Scamacca. Scamacca could play tonight, have an absolute stinker, but we've still got enough quality in the team to win the game regardless. And, enough substitutions that you can bring on Ings or Antonio to go on and win it. And I think that Scamacca thing just triggers a lot of frustration at the minute. Anyway, it's time for you guys at home in the live chat. Get your score predictions into the live chat, and please make it obvious who you're going for. So if you put 3 Hythe-0, is it Larnaca because they're the home team? But so just type West Ham if it's West Ham. Get them in, and while you're doing that, Gonzo, can I have your final thoughts and your score prediction, please?
Yeah, I think the key here is there's been a lot of talk of a discontent in the squad, that David Moyes somehow has lost the squad. He's got to get that back on track. He's got to really try and galvanise them and motivate them and say to them, look, lads, stand by me with this. We just need to all knuckle down. We all need to get together basically and just try and put all this other stuff out of our minds. Wow, that's a big one. Put this stuff out of our minds. Get the win today, get back to it. It's all this. Look, I think we get through in this, whatever happens. I think this is an exercise in him just connecting again with the team, I think, and getting a little bit of positivity back into it and showing them that actually these are going to be our positive tactics. And you know what? We're going to carry this on and we're going to play in this positive manner against Aston Villa. I hear what you're saying. I hear your concerns, but, we'll basically from now until the end of the season, it now starts now, fresh ideas, fresh approach. Let's go for it. And I think if he can do that, he might get a tune out of the players, because at the moment, the players are going to be suspicious that we might go for it in this and then just sit back against Aston Villa. So I think attitude is as important. Attitude and performance are possibly even more important than the result here.
We can sort the mouse, Matt. I don't know about the actual mouse. It's sort of out with my... I would say pay grade, but not really. But it's out with my capabilities. But the mouse mat I can certainly do. If enough people, I don't use a mouse mat. I've got one, but it annoys me. Do you?
I don't use a mouse mat. No. I don't think anybody did anymore. I thought it was an old.
It's not really a thing. Back in the day when it had the ball, you needed the mouse mat for the ball. But it's now
mine's
laser.
Got like a laser. Oh shit!
Pardon? What was that?
Oh, whoops! That's. Whoops, sorry.
It depends on the surface, right? If you've got a table like I do that's like really shiny, then the laser just goes all over the shop, so you sort of almost have to have something underneath it just to make it work.
But
have you got a mouse mat then, Charlie?
No, I use a piece of old cardboard because I
we
can't
see
be
it?
asked to buy it.
Can we see the cardboard?
It's like balanced underneath the screen and other things, so it doesn't move
Oh,
around.
okay. So it's a
an
bit like
older-
when you go out for sat to eat and the table's wobbly and you use the beer mat and fold it up to stop the table wobbling. There's a bit of that going on, is it?
Essentially that, yeah.
Nice,
Essentially,
nice.
yeah.
Like it.
Right, I'll do my best to remind you of the bet. West Ham to win, West Ham to score 2 goals, Agurd and Benrahma to have a shot on target, West Ham to have at least 5 corners, and Larnaca to pick up 2 yellow cards or a red card. They need 20 booking points. 10 booking points is a yellow card. Anyway, what
Sorry. Is it true? Have you? Is it true? And if it is, Toby, do you regret the purchase?
And I want photographic evidence emailed to us, just like we called out that guy on Christmas Day, bless him, who had a Declan cushion and we said, prove it. And he did, to be fair.
I love it. 100% did.
But for his trouble, I did send him a packet of beer mats to say thank you very much for participating in our just wildness on Christmas Day. And it was a brilliant picture as well. I loved it. What was your score prediction, Gonzo? What did you say, sorry?
Oh, I didn't give one, did I? 3-0 West Ham.
I'm going to say 2-0 West Ham. I'm feeling good, feeling comfortable. Who's your goal scorers, Gonzo?
Oh, I like it. I
Yeah.
like it. Well, Agurd, obviously.
Oh, damn, I was trying to catch you out, but yes, well done.
Oh, really? I was at it. Agurd, Antonio, and... Ooh. 4 now.
Skamaka off the bench.
Yeah, it'd be nice, yeah. Again.
I fancy a Manu goal tonight. I think we might see a little bit of Lanzini popping up with something. But anyway, we're here till the final whistle, so don't go anywhere. Watch along time is a way to commence, where Charlie gets interactive with the live chat. Make sure you drop a like on the video and subscribe if you're new to Hammer's chat. Myself and Gonzo are going to disappear, but I'll be back at half time for a little catch up with Charlie. Then myself and Gonzo will be back at full time, so don't go anywhere. Your Hammer's chat is your one-stop shop for everything you need on a match day. Charlie, over to you, my friend.
Thank you, Geo. Thank you, Gonzo. And thank you, all of you, for joining. I hope you're all well. I hope you're all excited ahead of this Europa Conference League clash. Big times out in Cyprus. It's West Ham United versus AEK Larnaca. I say AEK Larnaca, and I don't know, Stel, if you're still in the chat. I know you were in there earlier. I saw you in there earlier. Very good video with Geo, by the way. I messaged Geo straight after. I said, that's good. Stel pronounced it AEK Larnaca, I think. So maybe I've been saying AEK this entire time and I'm supposed to be saying AEK. I don't know. But that is the opposition, and I'm very excited. I can't lie. I love a bit of Europa League football, be it conference or otherwise. I'm excited, ladies and gentlemen. But we do have bells, gents. I went and bought a whole new net yesterday, so we've got plenty of those to go around. Afternoon, Andy, Natan, good to see you. I wish we had any. There were none in the shop. I actually genuinely wanted one this morning, but no. Bobby66, good to see you. Judas, my trustworthy friend. MC Kelsey. Nailed it that time. Good to see you, Chuck. Is it Ike? Do you have to say Ike? Then I apologise. To every AEK side I've ever mispronounced. Oxby, good to see you. And everyone else in the chat. Let's start by asking you how confident you are, of course. Let's get those confidence levels. Let's measure those out on a scale of 1 to 10. 1 being the least confident possible, 10 being the most confident possible. How confident are you of a West Ham result tonight? I'm interested to see where they're at. Like I said, I was expecting maybe a little more negativity on the lineup poll, but it was certainly slightly more positive, ever so slightly more than I was expecting. And while you get those numbers in this, let's look at the team in a little bit more depth, shall we? Let's have a little bit more of a gander. West Ham lineup as such. Areola starts in goal with Kera, Zuma again, and Cresswell in defence. Declan Rice with Lanzini and Downs slightly ahead of them. I suspect in the 4-3-3 again, with Fornals on the left, Fornals on the right, Benrahma on the left, and Antonio up front is the way I would suspect that to go down. The bench is very strong for us at the moment, at least. Heji and Anang are the 2 youth players, 2 goalkeepers. But after that, you have Johnson, Skamaka, Paqueta, Cornet, Ings, Bowen, Ogbonna, Souček, Emerson. That's about as strong a bench as you're going to get out of West Ham, especially at the moment. That's a pretty strong team. And it does fill me with quite a lot of confidence. I've got some big problems with it. Numero uno, Kera at right back is a terrifying prospect. And obviously I would have preferred to see maybe one of the other 2 strikers start, maybe a slightly different composition of players in the midfield and forward positions. But in general, when you're looking at strength, I mean, seeing Zuma and Agurd start together is very exciting. I don't know. That's a really strong team. I'll run very quickly through the Larnaca one. I don't know really anything about them apart from what Stel said on that video and what people have mentioned. I saw Gatesy doing a video on Forged from Irons, for example, with Duke over there. I sort of saw that, mentioned a couple of players. So I'm gonna give these names a shot once. And when I get them wrong, we can all enjoy that. And then during the game, I'll probably end up just referring to numbers, but we'll see what happens. Piric starts in goal with Casas, Milicevic, Tomovic, and Inglezu left back. I know how to pronounce that one. I know someone with that last name. Mamas and Ledes in defensive midfield with Sanjurjo, just ahead of them. Rosales and Yacolis on either side of Lopez up front. Their bench: Tumpas, Styliantis, Gonzalez, Trikovsky, Farage, Cristoforu. I've put some sauce on that one. It was a bit of a tongue. Cristoforu, Naum, Andreu, Altman, and Nikolic. Those are the lineups. And let's see how much confidence they've been filling you with. Starting from the top. I got very distracted there. Right, Mark says 7, 9, Logan, 8, none, 1 is Nathan, 8, 3, 9, 6, 10, 7, 7, 5. See, quite a lot. I'm not sure. I've never been sure. I tell you what, we can look that up as we go. We can learn. You know, we come for fun, and we end with learning. Can I copy and paste any of those? That would be really useful to me. No? Okay. Right. No. Maybe we can't learn. 7, 8.90 says freak off his leash. Leash. Really struggling with that one. 8, 100% confidence says Chuck. Just a big hundo P out the gate. 5, 6, 5, 9, 10, 8.5. Can't ever be a 10 with Moisey. That's, I mean, you know, fair. Oishin, how do you pronounce that? Oh, I don't know. I should know. I have enough Irish in me to be able to pronounce words like that. Not happening. I'm not joking. We are going to lose. Mulholland is coming through with some negativity, I say, but I respect it. It's that you can't blame it. Home Dennis is saying 5, maybe a 6.3 from Michael Levy Jr., who's just got subscribed to on YouTube. As confident as Michael Jackson at Disneyland, says Michael. Which is, who knows? I mean, he's dead, so. Jim says 8. Andrew says 50. MC says 0.7 or 7, who knows? 9. Tasman, good to see you. Hope you're well. Solid 10 says Paul. Like I say, a lot of confidence. Usually it balances out, you know? Nice. Usually it sort of balances out to some extent. You know, you have some big ones, you have small ones, whatever. The smaller ones, the lower level ones, you've got a couple of very low numbers. But in general, most of the small numbers, 2 pies. So 6 point something. I was going to do the maths, but I can't be asked. The lower ebb of the number seems to be relatively high, so a lot of confidence, which again I can't exactly blame anyone for. I think I always give the opposition as much respect as I can in these games, because I think the truth is although we look at a team like Larnaca who come from Cyprus and think, you know, we're significantly bigger than them, we're significantly better, the league is better, all these other things. The truth is that they've earned the right to be in this position, in this competition, as much as we have. You know, when the famous couple of losses to Astra Giju were happening and people were talking, you know, the Dom meme went around, we lost to a bunch of farmers, blah, 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 blah. I think these sides have earned the right to be here just as much as we have. And they want to stay in this just as much as we do. They want to fight just as much as we do. So as much as, yes, we might be a better team with more money and more talent and more everything, right? That's true. I think you can't take these for granted. You can't take them for granted. Because in cup competitions, anything can happen. And I always try to figure that out. I always try to remember that when I go into these sort of situations and I try to, you know, predict what's going to happen. I'm not saying that I'm at a low score, a 3 or 4. I'm confident. I think you look at those sides, you look at our side specifically, because I don't really know too much about Larnaca, although I'm looking forward to finding out. You look at our side specifically, that is a strong side. That is a very strong side. Like, that's arguably our first choice centre-back pairing that we've wanted all season, that we might not be in this position without, you know? You've got Rice in there, who's our best player. You've got Lanzini in there, who's capable on his day. You've got Fornals and Benrahma, who would have started for us. I mean, Fornals, Benrahma, Antonio would have been our first choice front three last season. So the fact that we have, I mean, ignoring potentially Bowen, right? Ignoring that, we have a very, very strong team out. So I've got to back the beef. I've got to back the beef and say I'm confident, and I am. I'd put myself probably at like a 7. But I do think we, should be careful because they can pull off a result just as much as we can. Lawrence is saying, Ike means Athletiki Inossi Konstantinopoulos, maybe? Constantinople Sports Club, because it was founded by... Interesting. I do have the Wikipedia page open, but I was talking so much that I just didn't have the time to really read it. Although I can see exactly what you're talking about. Interesting. That could be for the Greek one, right? Because there's a couple. That's AEK Athens? Is that one? Because I think Larnaca could be something else. But yeah, I mean, that's interesting to me. I've never known, because there are a few about, like we said, At this point, let's turn our attention to the subs bench, right? Hedgie, Anang, Johnson, Ogbonna, Emerson, Paqueta, Souček, Cornet, Bowen, Skamaka, Ings. Let's get on to sub bingo. Sub bingo is the game where we will predict when David Moyes will make his first substitution. You don't have to put the players there, although they are running across the bottom of the screen as we speak. So if you want to add a little bit of spice, feel free to. It's just about the minute though when you predict it will happen. I'm thinking 45 minutes, but I'm going to stick with 69, obviously, and I'm going to say Ings for Antonio. Ings for Antonio, 69 minutes. That seems likely to me. I think 45 minutes might be the correct answer, but I'm gonna go say 69. Simon, the lineup shall be running along your screen in just a moment, my friend. There you go. Ariola, Kera, Zuma, Aged, Cresswell, Downs, Rice, Lanzini, Fornals, Benrahma, and Antonio for 3-3. I'll bring the bench up and I'll put it back up in a second. While we say that, GP, thank you very much for the £2 into the full-time fund. Massively appreciate it. What a beach live streaming. Very exciting stuff. I am, of course, actually in my home for once. It's rare, when we're here. We usually have to bop over to North Idaho. But today I am in the actual house, in the abode, because I can watch it live on BT Sport. If you are looking for a way to watch the game, however, maybe you don't have BT Sport, maybe you're in a different country so it's not being shown for whatever reason, there are definitely ways you can do it. What you could do is scroll down into the description below. There's a bit there called Join Our Discord. If you click on that, it's completely free. Hammers Chat, West Ham community, lovely stuff, lovely people there. However, more importantly, on the left-hand side, there's a bit there called Stream Links, which you will find what you're looking for. There is a timer in the top right-hand corner which shows how far behind you I will be because, streaming, there's a bit of lag with that and YouTube and stuff. And also, when you watch BT Sport on the computer, for some reason, it's like a minute behind. Don't know why. That's just the way technology works, I guess. But there is a timer in the top right-hand corner. So you can get involved because I would love you to hang around because we were the only West Ham channel last season who did a watch-along every single match day. We were here doing build-up, watch-along, review. We're always here making sure we do all of those things. So make sure if you haven't already to subscribe, hit that bell notification so you don't miss out on any future videos because we've got, I think we might have 2 videos going up tomorrow, by the way. I was talking to Geo earlier and we're looking at a tentative 2 videos for tomorrow, as well as everything else we do throughout the week. And, like the video while you're there because it helps us out massively. Let's look at these let's look at these sub bingos, shall we? Got about 12 minutes till kickoff. We'll get onto score lines very soon, so maybe hold fire just in case, but we will be getting onto those very, very soon. Right, so scrolling. There we go. Create by K is going 76th minute. I struggled with that one, Kay. I struggled with that one. I don't know how. 75. We have a 67, 72. It could be back 5, Charlie. I think 52nd. It could be. I highly doubt it. I will say that. I very, very highly doubt it. And I'm very... Either way. If it's a back 5, I'd be fine with Kera playing. If it's a back 4, I've got big problems with it. But I would be highly surprised if it is a back 5. There are the players on there possible to do it. Actually, it depends. If that's a back 5, it could be, to be fair, it could mean Kera at right wing back, which would be an equal problem. So I'm just looking at the team. Could be, but we'll see what happens when they kick off, I guess. We'll find out then. 66, 76, 73, 69, nice. 61. Souček on 60 minutes. Souček is a great shout to come on, actually. I can't lie. Ogbonna on for Zuma, 33rd minute. Mark, please. Please, Spooky Duke is coming through as well. 10 minutes Zoom it, please. 45 minutes says Dan. Halftime sub says Tate, which yes, basically, yes. Ings comes on 76th minute and scores a hat trick. Ings on 70, and he'll score. Double confidence there from Addy and Kay. We have a 73rd minute by UK Cockney Boy. 92nd minute says Stephen, who's predicting a passive David Moyes this evening, which again, can't blame you. 70th minute says Bobby 66. 90 plus 3 says Judas. Again, passivity incoming from my trustworthy friend. 60 minute sub says Draconian Squid. He'll bring on defender 2-1 down the 80th minute. Stress, but yes, stress. 67th minute, Lanzini Benny for Cornet, says Stu. If you haven't already subscribed to the Sable Team, make sure to do that. Great Leeds channel, West Ham fans on there as well. It's a good old time. Yeah, I mean, Cornet coming on is a big thing that could happen, right? When you're looking at, listen, it happens. I'm the kind of snowy guy it is. When you look at, say, the bench, Cornet is one of those ones who I'd really want to see come on. Obviously, I want to see the likes of. That's a great shout as a luck item. That is an unreal shout. There is obviously I'd want to see Scamacca come on. Obviously, I'd want to see Ings get some run out. You know, there's people on there I'd like to see, but realistically, Cornet is the one who I think. Cooking is the bit that got me. What's her name? Margaret? Is it Margaret? How have I forgotten her name? Mad. I've read Margaret. I was like, was it Margaret? Yeah, fair. I'm trying to see him running upstairs to check if she's okay. Grantley and Margaret. Maybe it was. I can't believe I've misforgotten her. Obviously, out of, like I was saying, the players that are on the bench, he's probably the one I would love to see the most. I would love to see, I know, right? I would love to see him get a run-up just because I don't know if he exists. Is he fit enough? Probably not. And I think with the conversation, for example, about what's going to happen with Scamacca and everyone asking why he isn't playing, for example, I understand everyone's intrigue into the situation because it feels so ridiculous. It feels so insane, the fact that it exists in the way it does. But for me, I mean, if I can't rule out the most obvious option, which he is not fit enough to play, then I can't start to think about, you know, if he's had a falling out with Moyes and if he's kicking off and if he's had a bad time personally or whatever these rumours are, whatever they all tend to be. I can't think past the fact that I just don't think he might be fit. You know, I don't want that to be the case. And I feel like if he isn't fit, why the hell is he on the bench as opposed to, say, Mubama or something like that? But I think Moyes in general would rather play a half fit, if not fully fit, senior player than he would rather play a youth player. And by that logic, it makes perfect sense that Scamacca is on the bench. And it also makes perfect sense that Cornet would maybe get on the bench and not get on today. But I would love to see either of those two come on just to get some minutes because I do think going forward, they are two very important players for us. I think Cornet is a upgrade on certain wingers that we have. I think Scamacca is obviously very, very, very talented. I think any future manager who'd come in would look at those two. Scamacca, especially Cornet, who's very obviously fairly malleable, and can do different roles, would look at those two and go, these are people I can work with, these are people I can do different things with. You know, you might look at Bowen and think, and this isn't a diss on Bowen, but you can see his strengths, but you also see that he has one sort of system, you know, that he sort of seems to really thrive in. Whereas these guys can do lots of different things. I mean, Scamacca is the same, right? But it's a more exciting system. I don't know. Maybe I'm talking out my backside. But I would love to see those two specifically come on and get some minutes. How many goals has Scamacca scored? That is a great question that I can answer for you in 2 seconds. He scored in a couple of matches. I want to say, my gut's saying 3 off the top of my head, but let's see. Yeah, so he's in the Premier League. He scored 3 in 16 games. In all competitions, he's got 7 in 25. So obviously he's done very well in Europe. 4 and 7. So yeah, but in the Premier League 3, for some reason my brain had it correct, surprisingly. But 7 in 25 is not bad, and 3 in 16 isn't great. But 7 in 25 is not bad for a West Ham striker, especially in a system which does not suit him in any way, shape, or form, which we cannot begin to pretend like Scamacca's does for him. You know what I mean? I'm also just seeing you at Kieran. I can't see Kieran's name in the chat, but Kieran, if you're here, good to see you, bro. I hope you're well. I hope you enjoyed your. I don't know if you're. I don't know if you're still out or if you're still in the UK or whether you're back home. If you are, I hope you enjoyed your time here. Bro. But like I said, I can't see your name in it. You can make one. Thank you. I did it on a show on Patreon a couple of weeks ago. I very much could. I've got enough hair. I mean, look, I could really. Look how much, that's just pulling the back of my hair up and over. Do you know what I mean? I can make a whole new fringe. It's ridiculously long and I need to get rid of it. And I'm going to get rid of it soon. But I could very much rock a man bun if I wanted. And I do have, for when I need them, for like when I'm washing up or whatever. I never tie my hair up like in public. But when I'm washing up and I'm like this and hair's just my eyes, I do have them just here at all times. Maybe if it goes really well or really badly, maybe we'll get to that stage. But until that point, we are 5 minutes away from kickoff in Cyprus for AEK or AEK Larnaca versus West Ham United in the Europa Conference League. And with this amount of time to go, I think it's only right we lock in those final score predictions. We've gone through the lineups, we've gone through the bench, we've spoken about the intricacies of the decisions, the formation, everything. We've spoken about it all, ladies and gentlemen, over the last hour, and now is the time to get your neck on the line. Let's get those score predictions in and let's lock them in. You know what I mean? Lock them in. The teams are about to walk out. I'm excited for this one. I'm very excited. I do really, really like European football. I can't lie. I know for a lot of people, they look at the Europa Conference League as a small time tournament. The League Cup of European football and all this sort of stuff. But I can't turn my nose up at it. I wouldn't turn my nose up at the League Cup either. But I can't turn my nose up at European competition. You know, these are sides from all over Europe who have fought to be in this position just like we have, who have earned the right to be in this position just like we have. As much as we might say to ourselves, you know, it's just the Europa Conference League compared to the Europa League, compared to the Champions League. But we were saying that about the Europa League before this competition exists. Now this competition exists. All of a sudden, it's not the smallest one, and we sort of change our minds again. I love watching us play in Europe. I've wanted to watch us play in Europe for so long. Just getting to see us go to different interesting teams and see what they do, learn about new players, see cool stadiums like this. I mean, this is kind of what I love. And I come into this with confidence that we can get a result. Will it be enough to make the home fixture a foregone conclusion? I don't think it will. As much as I am confident, as much as I think we've got a strong team out, and I think we could do a madness. I mean, we beat Nottingham Forest 4-0, right? Why can't we do something like that here? I just think I don't have I'm not at 10 out of 10 levels. But when I'm talking about a 7, I reckon. Thank you, Stu. It's very kind of you. When I'm talking about 7s, I'm pretty confident. I'm gonna say 2-1. I was trying to say between 2-0 and 2-1. I'll say 2-1 because I think Larnaca could get a goal here. I think Kurt Zouma coming into it, and I think forming that partnership, Kehrer at right back is terrifying to me. I reckon 2-1. One of the things Gonzo said before the match about this idea of performance potentially mattering more than the result is 100% true for me as well. As long as we can come out of this thinking we've put in a good performance, we've done what we need to do, we've got a lot of positives from a lot of different players, then I'm happy. That's really what I'm looking for from this game. So I'm going to say 2-1, which is maybe a little bit less than maybe I should, but we'll stick with 2-1. But let's have a look at some of your score predictions. Right, where are we at? Freak is saying 2-1 Larnaca. Bloody hell. 3-1 West Ham, 2-0 to the Hammers. 3-1 says Gartsy. We've got August, sorry. 3-1 to the Hammers says Graham. 3-1 to us says Ray. 1-0 to the Hammers. Listen. Well, it depends. Some people look alright with it. Not me. I just need to shave. That's a bigger problem. MC is saying 2-0, 5-0, full-time score, highly expected, says Ritish. Love that from you. 3-0 says Victor. We're saying 3-1 to the Hammers. Let's go. 7-2 to us, says Phil. Philip, that's bold. Big on that. 3-1 to the Hammers, 2-1 to the Irons, 3-1 to the Hammers, 4-0, 1-0 AEK, says Stephen, 3-0 to the Irons, 2-1 defeat, says Devo, 4-0, says Wayne, to someone who knows who to. It's the West Ham way. You're not wrong. Recently, you're not wrong. 2-1 to West Ham, says Robert, 2-1, says David. No, there's some more 2-1s than I was expecting. I'll take that. Maybe there is something up here. Who knows? Maybe there is something up here. It's got to be 5-0, 4-0, says the Cornet Deception. 0-0 till 64th minute. 4-0, says Dazza. Blimey. But big final minutes. We've seen it before, but, you know, a little bit wild. And Freak Off a Leash says, I'd love to win this competition, and of course, if it means not getting relegated. Yeah, I think, like you say, if we won this competition, let's be real, even the people who aren't super keen on it would be celebrating. I think a win in any competition would be a big deal for us. And hopefully, I think this might be our best opportunity here. So hopefully we can go out and make it happen. Kickoff, Jack, I assume that is right now, basically. Is basically right now. I am, of course, watching on BT Sport, ladies and gentlemen, so I will be ever so slightly behind, because when you watch it on their player online, for some reason, you're like 30 seconds to a minute behind. There is a timer in the top corner, which will tell you exactly how far behind you I am, but it is West Ham United versus AEK Larnaca in the Europa Conference League. Kickoff just a few moments away. Thank you very much for watching. Like the video if you haven't already. Make sure to subscribe and hit that bell notifications button so you don't miss out on any future videos. Watch along every single game on this channel one last time if you are looking for a way to watch the game. If you can't, there are definitely ways you can do it. Click join our Discord. Lovely Hammers chat. West Ham community. Free to join. Link in the description below. Come on, you Irons. Deploy the boys. It's time to run 2 things. It's AEK Larnaca. West Ham have kicked off. Larnaca, get us underway. I love this stadium. This is... When I'm thinking back to like my formative years of watching European football, right, watching Champions League and stuff, and seeing random teams that I've never heard of before, these are the sort of stadiums I'm thinking about. These are the sort of atmospheres from the home side I'm thinking of. I'm big into this. I've just realised how much merch I've got. I've got Hammers Chat merch T-shirt on that the amazing Rebecca and Tom designed. I've got a mug I designed. I've gone very John Cena today, do you know what I mean? Ben Rama, another player who does really well in Europe, just getting a touch of the ball there. It does look like a 4-3-3. It does look like the exact same 4-3-3 we have been playing. Maybe Flynn Downs, maybe the more baseline player as opposed to Declan Rice. Declan Rice maybe playing the Thomas Souček role. Lanzini playing the Paqueta role, but it does look like a 4-3-3. But yeah, as I was saying, Ben Rama is someone who has done really well in European games before, and I would suspect him to carry on in this one. I think it really suits him stylistically. Kera definitely playing out wide on the right as well, so mildly terrifying, but we'll see how that goes. Let's just see where... Interested to see where, yeah, it seems Downs definitely seems to be the deeper one. I'll be interested to see where Fornals is, whether this is a diamond. It could be a diamond. I mean, in theory, it could be a diamond, but Ben Rama seemed very wide on the left-hand side for it to be a diamond. So I would suspect it is a 4-3-3. Yeah, I wish he'd give him a chance as well, but we'll see. It wouldn't surprise me if he came on today, but I just don't think he's fit. Good evening, Dean. North Idaho in house. We actually have snow here. Oh, there you go. I'm watching properly. What a time to be alive. That sounds terrifying to me. I've done 2, and it was an issue. My stomach didn't enjoy it. If the chat go with that, then I'll do 3 in one go. I'll do it. I'll hate myself for it, but I'll do it. However, I can only imagine the evening I'd be in store for if I did that. See, I was thinking maybe something similar, you know. You don't see Christmas tree formation. Kara was first miss pass. You don't see the Christmas tree formation enough these days, do you know what I mean? Back in the day, I was obsessed with it. You don't see it too much now. It's not in my picture to. It's not in my nature to pick the winning team. Sometimes I think I'm happy, then I remember it's a dream. No, it just isn't my nature to pick a winner. Listen, maybe today, Belcar, maybe today. Maybe you continue the rhythm and vibes and fight nature. Maybe. I don't know. Big boot forward. Antonio going down, holding his ankle under a challenge. Hopefully it's nothing serious. No, he seems to be getting back up. He doesn't look comfortable, but then again, when does Mikel Antonio look comfortable, to be fair? Yakulis trying to play the ball down the wing. On the left-hand side, it's a good opportunity to get the ball into the box, and it's stabbed away from Kurt Zouma and Glazu getting forward. Stabbed away. Good to see, Big Mally. It has, my friend, it has kicked off. The time on my screen is the time up here. Cresswell finds Benrahma, a little bit of an awkward touch, but he manages to just about keep it in. It does seem to be a 3. It does seem to be a 3, and Lanzini sort of taking up the Paqueta role of having a little bit of joy to sort of go forward. It almost changes into a 4-2-3-1, you know, which makes sense, right? You have Rice, you have Downs. It makes sense where Lanzini just has the freedom to basically do whatever he wants in that role. When you're defending, drops deep into a slightly deeper position, but it does feel very 4-2-3-1 more often than more than I would suspect it to. Good pressure though. AEK trying to pass it around at the back, nice pressing. Just managed to dink it out. We'll take it out, but it was nicely done. Coventry City fan here. I'd love you to win and hope to play you next season when you come out. Are you close to coming up? I haven't checked the Championship in a hot minute. The Coventry in the Premier League? That'll be fun old time, wouldn't it? I'll be down with that. I don't know who I actually want to come up. I need to look at the Championship at some point and figure that stuff out. I haven't actually looked. But I'd be down for a bit of Coventry in the Premier League. Drake Downs? He's fine. He's fine. He seems, first thing to say, seems like he's a nice guy. So this is nothing against him. As a footballer, yeah, he seems fine. You know? I can't act like I think hopefully he can grow into the team, and as I do, I think he's a beautiful squad person to have. Like, he's like the perfect squad player for West Ham, at least. Like the perfect squad player. Good opportunity for Lanzini. He's in an awkward position, Lanzini, because obviously he's an incredibly talented footballer, but he's sort of been dipping in and out of form. He's obviously had not much luck with injuries, but it's a good opposite. Very awkward from Kurt Zouma. Very awkward. But it's a good opportunity for him to sort of showcase his talents and maybe, as Gio was alluded to, potentially with some players as well, not just him, but some other players tonight, putting their best foot forward and giving David Moyes a slight selection headache, because realistically David Moyes isn't the sort of person who would usually do that. David Moyes usually knows exactly the 11 he wants, and you know, whatever happens. However, having said that, I think he's in a position now where beggars can't be choosers to some extent, and I think if you put in a great performance tonight, be it Lanzini, be it Fornals, be it Kera, be it whoever, Ariola, Downs, even Antonio to some extent, then you're probably going to get game time, because he really has no choice. Who's your favourite West Ham player current, but who's your favourite all-time? All-time is Joe Cole, because he was the one I grew up on. I grew up on Joe Cole breaking into the first team. Outside of that, I love Yossi Benayoun as well. Yossi Benayoun was my guy. Favorite current is still probably Pablo Fornals. I bloody love a bit of Pablo Fornals. Don't get me wrong. I think I probably overrate him, although that's a nice pass from him. Finds Benrahma, nice little link up down the right hand side. Benrahma managed just to fight away into winning a throw, and we'll take that. But yeah, probably Pablo Fornals, rogue shout. I'm not thinking straight. I reckon I'm on the spot, under the lights here. I won't be thinking about it wrong, but I do love a bit of Pabbers. Larnaca sitting deep. Antonio just bullied there, surprisingly. AEK sitting deep. Larnaca sitting quite deep. Just holding off. Antonio's gone down a second time. I suspect he may have to come off. He just sort of got pushed over. They were on the ball there, AEK, quite comfortably. And a mile off, he goes down. So I suspect he will have to come off. He doesn't look comfortable at all. Which is one way to get Scamacca onto the pitch, is just to have Antonio go down injured. But yeah, not good. Not good. He went down initially under a challenge from someone else. Stayed down a little bit long. Got back up slowly, but still seemed to be in a little bit of discomfort. And there he was just sort of backing into one of the players, and I don't think it's that big of I don't think it's a big deep foul, but he certainly does get a little kick in the back, and sort of the back of his legs at least, and falls down and stays down when the ball was far away from him. We've got a medic on at the moment, one of the fitness physios, having a look at him. Scamacca's warming up, says Mark. I haven't seen him yet. Yeah, no, I can see him. He's just started warming up. Sorry. I'm just thank you, Mally. Keep me updated, mate. Look, if I could time travel, or somehow convince BT to stream their shows, their football matches at the same rate they do on the television, I would, but I can't, so I shan't. That's the way it goes. Do you know what I mean? But I appreciate it. Back or calf, I think. Yeah, it was something. I think it was his. I don't know what it was, but he doesn't look comfortable. I think it was his leg, like his lower leg, whatever bit that is. I did do PE as a GCSE, and part of that was knowing body parts, but that's all gone out of my head now. They play it short. AEK from the free kick back to the goalkeeper. They're passing it around at the back now. Seeing how Mikel Antonio is moving, he looks fairly comfortable, to be fair. I mean, he looks as comfortable as Mikel Antonio ever looks, which is a bit iffy, but what can you do? They play the ball well out to the left-hand side, Larnaca. They look to try and whip it into the box. It's nodded away from Kurt Zouma. I mean, to be honest with you, I'm relatively confident with them crossing the ball. If we're being entirely honest, I'm relatively confident with them crossing the ball. It was a decent cross in there, but with Zouma and Aged, we should have more than enough to cut out any crosses that aren't lethal crosses, right? So I'm fairly okay with sort of allowing them to do it. It's a little bit passive, but again, that's David Moyes football. I'm not really expecting anything differently. I'm hoping for something different, but I'm not expecting. So all shot from AEK from range on the volley goes well and truly over. But yeah, I can't act like I'm I can't act like I'm surprised. I just would have hoped for something a bit different. But it is a little bit passive. We'll see how the game ends up playing out. We are away after all in the Europa League. You can't diss them too much. I saw Stu, don't I? I just replied. Oh, bit of a high foot from Lanzini there. He holds his foot up as if to say sorry, and referee plays waves on, but plays on. Waves play on is what I was trying to say. But very high foot. Oh, lovely, exciting glitch from BT Sport there, but can't make it work. Awful crossfield ball from Larnaca, gives us a throw in a very promising position. I mean, it's our throw in, so it's not really going to do anything about it. Rage from the Larnaca manager. It's our throw in, so we're not really going to do anything with it. We're not that. We ain't those guys, but, exciting. Kera to take it on the right-hand side. Short directly into the corner of Benrahma, who wiggles his way into crossing it to... Oh, wait, yep, no one. And they have the ball. Oh, love that from a Larnaca player. That was awesome. He goes down under a challenge. Him and I think it was Kera battling for it. 50-50, bunching up against each other. And as the balls... They both go down. And as the ball's rolling... Oh, he takes one in the face for his troubles. They both go down. bloody hell, it's close from Lanzini as well. They both go down, and as they're both lying on the floor, he just reaches out and nods his head away. It was beautiful stuff. I was very into that. Bit of I'm thinking John Terry vibes, not racist. The one where he's on the floor and he does that, Well, at least hopefully not racist. Can't confirm or deny. Much of a muchness, Alan, at this point. I don't think either team... I think we look comfortable when we're on the ball, but we're not really doing anything with it. We're passing it around comfortably enough. It's that final question, which really we've only had good answers against Nottingham Forest and no one else. The idea of what do we do in the final third? How do we find those passes? How can we push ourselves from that? And right now we don't really seem to have an answer. But it's early in the game. I'm not too despondent just yet. Yeah, pretty much. It's like, okay. Oh, Kelsey, I apologise. I did not see it any other time. Kelsey, my deepest apologies. Happy birthday. I hope you're well. I got your name right, which I hope is present enough. But happy birthday. I apologise. I had not seen it. Can everyone, if you're in the chat, please wish MC Kelsey a happy birthday. Kelsey, a happy birthday. Because that was my bad. That was my mistake. I apologise. I just didn't see it. It's disgraceful from me. Larnaca on the ball, just passing it around. We're pressing relatively defensively, at least when they're sort of passing it around in a sort of midfield and deeper position. We do seem to be in a 4-2-3-1 formation. Lanzini quite far forward. We've seen some joy in the last couple of weeks of having one of our midfield three stepping quite high up and almost joining Antonio or striker, whoever else up front, Ings in some cases. Almost joining them up front and being in a sort of 2 formation type thing, like a 4-4-2 type thing. And had some joy having a sort of player come out and be that guy who's forward and man marking their defensive midfield to sort of stop them from being able to play. That was one of the big things against Nottingham Forest. I don't know if that's what we're doing here, but it's certainly... Lanzini is sort of certainly in the realm of their defensive midfielder. It's not the most exciting game it's ever been. I can't lie to you. If you are a neutral watching this, I would apologise because I don't think it's going to be the most fun thing you've ever seen in your life. But still, how far do you reckon we'll go in the Conference League? I think we could theoretically go all the way to the final. We could. Will we? I don't know, but we 100% could. I mean, I'm looking, like, if you look at who's left in the Europa Conference League, right? I don't think any of those teams are unassailable, right? There's obviously some strong teams left, and there's some lesser strong teams left. But in general, you can't act like any of them are unassailable. I mean, you're talking Fiorentina are decent, Lazio are decent, AZ are decent, Basel can be good, Nice are obviously decent, Anderlecht are decent, Villarreal are decent. But realistically, on our day, we could beat any of those teams. If we can do the job against Larnaca and over these 2 legs, we're into the quarterfinals. And at that stage, anything can happen. My big thing is whether or not we continue. Oh, that's not a bad pass, actually. Forward from Yakolis. Finds their number 44, I think it is. Tries to dink it across the end. And Cresswell knocks it out for a corner under no real pressure. Maybe a poor call there. Probably could have done it. But yeah. I think realistically we could go to the final of this. The big question is how we're doing in the league as it progresses, because by the time the quarterfinals roll around, by the time the semi-finals roll around, we might not want to put everything into those games when we might need to get points in the Premier League. So we'll see how that ends up playing out. Going to be a corner, first corner of the game. Larnaca to take it from the right-hand side. They take it short. They've got a little corner kick routine. Goes very badly. Good interception from Lanzini, whose pass to Ben Rama was god-awful. And we concede somehow a corner from what felt like a beautiful opportunity to counter-attack. But nope, we've somehow gifted them a corner. That was quite bad. That was. I'm not gonna lie. That was very bad. Still, they're gonna take it again here, Larnaca. This time they just lofted it. Jesus Christ, that was close. This time they just lofted it in. 3 corners, ladies and gentlemen. Another third one comes in. Antonio's the one who gets the block. There was a big sort of turn from Aaron Cresswell, who jumps at the front post, missed it, goes over the top of him, and Antonio's just sort of first touch just knocks it out. But Aaron Cresswell did sort of turn around and shout. They're going to do it again. They're going to whip it into a similar position. They do, bloody hell. And they do go for that near post again, and the header this time. They're looking for just sort of a Thomas Souček-esque glance. Just flicked in. Doesn't quite work out for Larnaca. It goes over. It's going to be finally a goal kick, but a lot of needless pressure from West Ham. It felt like we were conceding there. A lot of needless pressure. I don't think like we needed that. I think we could have come away with it fairly confidently before, but we just didn't. It goes on. Played forward down the right-hand side by Larnaca again. He cuts inside of Declan Rice really easily. That's a great ball in, but Zuma was there to nod it away. A little bit awkwardly. A shot from range goes high and wide a little bit awkwardly there. That set up really well for a split second. I think if they had a person in the right position, that could have been in. That's a really nice opportunity for Larnaca. They take the ball down the right-hand side. And I'll be honest with you, he drifts past it Declan Rice like he didn't even exist. That's the Declan Rice people thought we had several years ago. That was awful. And the ball comes in, it's shot from range, it doesn't quite work out, but the corner, I mean, Zuma's there and just gets to nod it away, but it's just awkward, man. Just very, very awkward. Larnaca battling for it in midfield and winning. That's a good interception there from Kera. Nice flick on by Pablo Fornals. Kera's inwards pass just left a lot of people ball watching, and none of them really stepped forward. And Lanzini with the Robert Snodgrass press, ladies and gentlemen, it's returned. Just headless running around. Not quite working out, but still. We really do, Stu. I can't lie. It's pretty poor. It's pretty poor. It won't feel like a European. It's a good point, Wonderful Life. Who knows? What's the minute it will happen? Maybe that should have been, instead of Moyes bingo, maybe sub bingo. We should have gone with Cresswell red card bingo. Jesus Christ. The ball gets played across again from wide the position. Cresswell just awkwardly putting it out. I don't know. It's scary. Yeah, I saw Sean put that out. I think the original person I saw say it was Jim White. I saw Jim White say it this afternoon, and everyone sort of went a bit mad about it. We'll see what happens, but I don't believe it, is what I say. That's not to say the information they have received is a lie. I think the information they've received is probably true. I think they have enough good sources to back that up, but I don't believe if we got relegated, we would keep David Moyes. I think in some bizarre manner, I think that's the owners trying to show they back David Moyes even further than they already do, which I think is stupid. But, you know, it is what it is. I'll be honest, neither of them seem like the Prem team. I mean, look, Larnaca, I think, someone said growing in confidence earlier, I think a couple of minutes ago. I think we're at the stage now where Larnaca feel a lot more like they are just in control of the game. And they're certainly looking way more confident than we are. But it's not like their performance levels or ability or anything that we're seeing from them is... It's not Brighton we're seeing, right? It's not that good. I think, to be honest with you, we're being that bad. I don't think... If you said to me who looks like the Premier League team, I would say neither of them right now. I'm saying neither of them. This has big lower league vibes right now from me. The touches, the passes, just a lot of it's heavy and sloppy from everyone involved. Both sides. Both sides. They're less sloppy, but ours, you know, just awkward. Vibes. Listen, a little trip over to Larnaca every now and then seems like a lovely thing to do twice a season, you know? Do you reckon we would come up from the Championship? It depends. Depends who the owner is, depends who the manager is. There's so many different... Could we? Yes. Could we? Yes. Can I guarantee it? No. The Championship's an incredibly difficult. The Championship is so much better than it was than when we were down there last time. It would really heavily depend on who we had in charge, both from an ownership level and from a manager level. If we're in the Championship, then the chances are it will be David Sullivan. He has to get the right manager who he can put everything on. And David Moyes is not that guy, so I don't know. Could we? Yes. Would we? No. Good to see you, Mr. Pardew, my mentor, my guru. Yeah, we're not playing well. We're sat deep. We're doing what you would expect us to do, right? We're sat deep. We're sort of just soaking up a lot of pressure needlessly. We could step out of ourselves and go a little bit more at Larnaca, but realistically, we're not. Antonio went down looking very injured at the beginning of the game. He had a physio looking at him for a while. He ended up staying on. He seems fine now, as fine as Mikel Antonio ever does. But yeah, I don't know. It's fine. Like we're probably playing at a solid 5-4 out of 10 right now. Last 10 minutes especially have been a lot of Larnaca. Yeah. Not great. Pablo Fornas takes the ball and just sprints forward. Nice direct pass into the path of Mikel Antonio. Tries to... This heavy touch. It wasn't a bad idea. I'm not going to blame him too much there. That's just the way it goes. A heavy touch and just couldn't quite manage to finish it. Or couldn't quite manage to finish the move. Maybe get it onto Fornas, who's sprinting forward. Nicely done by Pablo Fornas. Little bit. Love that, Stephen. Yes, mate. Watch a bit of Bullseye. I'd watch Bullseye instead of this watch along, if I'm being honest. Get Bullseye highlights up on YouTube. Do you know what I mean? In one, you know? He needed a little sit down. To be fair, I would as well. Now, should it be different? Yes, potentially, yeah. But I can't act like it'd be any different for me. In fact, I'd probably go down looking tired significantly quicker than he does. I think, Lelaine, what I'll say is this: I know you're out here trolling. You're doing your best, and I respect it. Maybe a bit too many comments, but I respect it. I respect the hustle. What I'd say is this: manager's not the only problem. I think even if you want to support David Moyes, which I think everyone in here would be, I think everyone in here would back that I have been doing this season as much as I possibly can. You can't say he's not an issue. Do you know what I mean? But I respect the hustle. I respect the troll. If it gets out of hand, I will have to time you out. You know how these things go. Right now, you're sort of treading the fine line, which is what you want to do as a troll. You want to push the boundary as far as you can, but without it. But yeah. Good work regardless, but I'm just letting you know. It's just a little pre-warning, before we have to, But I respect it. Larnaca again trying to play the ball forward, just about keep it in well, to be fair to him. Down the right-hand side, good interception from Declan, from Aaron Cresswell even. Now Saïd Benrahma comes forward with the ball, looking to get it forward to Aaron Cresswell. He's in good crossing position. This is bread and butter stuff, and I'll be honest, the cross was awful. It was behind Mikel Antonio. It wasn't anywhere near Pablo Fornas on the far side. Just useless. Just useless. Yeah. Let me. It's fine. Let me deal with it. Because the thing is, I don't want to deal with it yet. And I'll say this to the rest of the chat. Don't bite. If you ever see a troll, don't bite. It's fine. If they don't get bites, they go. It's the sort of, how do I describe it? Battling for it. Areola comes and collects it, but then number 44, I think it's Yakulis, just almost managed to bulldoze his way through there. It's the sort of constant bait. There's a lot of bait going on with no real replies. Do you know what I mean? You put your fishing rod out, and then no one's bitten, and so you're putting it out again. Then you're putting it out again. You're putting it out again. If there was replies back and forth, like a lot of them, then I would see where it's coming from. But there, it feels it to me. My troll senses are usually pretty accurate, and it feels it to me. I can't guarantee it, but it feels it to me. The shirts do feel very much West Brom away, don't they? They do feel very West Brom away. It's a dull game. It's a dull game. We can't act like it isn't. You know? I want it to be more exciting than this. And I'll be honest with you. We take this all the way to the bank. If we get the win, we take this all the way to the bank. No stress. I would take an incredibly boring game without with a dub at the end of it, and whatever. It's fine. You know? I'm fine with that. If we get the result, it's fine. I prefer a good performance, but you know, ultimately it is what it is. But it is a very boring game. People like you in the chat who are neutrals. I'm sorry, it's a very boring game. Listen, why not? I'll do a watch along for it. You know? You do the painting, I'll do the watch along. We could discuss technique. You know? Eat baby bells, maybe to see, you know, what effect that has on the, you know, whatever, you know. Why not? Why not? At this point, why not? I can't say what I want to say. Well, when I was a teenager, West Ham passing it around at the back currently. When I was a teenager, big lofted forward looking for Antonio, who's very isolated, but you know, that's the way we are. Battles for it well, good work. Can't quite find Fornals. Lanzini takes a shot. It would have been spectacular, or it would have taken a lot to have scored from that kind of position. It wasn't too far away. It was very central as well, but ball coming to him slightly behind him. He'd have to turn, get a lot of power, hit it, and sort of put it in. It doesn't quite work out. But yeah, it feels very, very stretched. The fact they're creating better chances than us is very bad. I'll say this, right? When I was a teenager, thank you, Elaine. I am the CM Punk of West Ham. When I was a teenager, someone I know stole my DS. I was an early teenager. I must have been a teenager. Yeah, I must have been in secondary school at that point. I can't remember. But someone stole my DS. And I know who did it. And my opinion on it was, do you know what? I'm not going to have a fight with you about this. You did it. I'm not exactly going to hang out with you anymore. And obviously I stopped hanging out with them. But if I go up to them and be like, you stole my DS, they'd be like, no. But I know for a fact it was them. I know for 100% fact. So when you say I'm the kind of guy who someone robbed me, I'd be like, yeah, fair play, respect, hustle. Yeah, you're not entirely wrong. Would I react differently now? Probably, but whatever. Look at this. This is just, you know, whatever. Anyway, we're trying to play the ball forward. It's all very exciting. Oh, Ben Rama's got past one. He's got past two. Ladies and gentlemen, it's happening. No, it's straight into the hands of the goalkeeper. Don't worry about it. But listen, hey, he took it past two there. He took a shot straight at the goalkeeper. It's so exciting. Even the person who covers it and writes extensively about what exactly is going on is in the chat. That's how vibey this game has gotten. That's how vibey this game has gotten. If you haven't already, check out analyticsunited.co.uk. Come on now. What are we doing? What are we doing here? You know? Good writing on West Ham. Some absolute loser on one of their videos, but you know, it is what it is. Also, I did throw Danny DeVito in a video on there, so I was very scared I damaged him, but he seems to be fine. It was Super Mario 64 DS. Yeah, I've always wanted it back. I've always wanted it back, but you know, that's what I've never bought it since or played it since. I've always wanted it. We're getting a lot of slow-mo replays of players doing various and oh, and no, all of this sort of stuff, because the game is just at that vibe at this point. Looks like Larnaca are going to maybe be forced to make something, who knows. I've never had Nintendogs. Strangely, I've never played Nintendogs. Feels like something, you know. Feels like something I should have done, but I've never had Nintendogs. But they would probably be dead if I had them. Let's be real. I opened up Animal Crossing the other day for the first time in like a year. Weeds everywhere. Oh, my island was a mess. Hounslow is what my island's called, and it was a mess. Someone tried to... I'm sorry. I'm very, very sorry. Can everyone give your emotional support to Jack, who's going to have to watch this several times over and then discuss it on several different shows in detail, because that's stress. Someone once tried to... I think I've probably told this on the stream before. I think I have. Who knows? If I have, I'm sorry. If I haven't, you know, vibes. When I was... Again, this was when I was in secondary school. I was walking back from secondary school. There was a friend of mine who lived on the same estate as me, and we went to the same secondary school, and we used to walk home together. And as we were walking back, we went to... There was a bakery at the corner of the road, which would sell 4 donuts for £1, which, man, pre-financial crash, what a time we were living in, right? 4 donuts for £1. Don't get me wrong, it was probably when they were about to go... They were quite stale, so it was probably when they just needed to sort of be done or whatever. But, you know, we would go and we'd get them when we had money or whatever. And we were walking back once... on the road at the edge of the council estate, and there was a bunch of kids from a local college, sixth form, walking down the road in the opposite direction, and one of them came across to me and to us, and like sort of tried to go for the intimidation and went, "What you got for me?" As if, you know, can I, you know, we're robbing you basically. And I did say to them, "Do you want a donut?" So, you know, I was here for just giving them whatever at that point. Mikel Antonio turns, tries to take it past the man very wide. Look, we're in a positive position, but I don't know what's going on. And Ben Rama, we're in a decent position, plays it in. Mikel Antonio with the head. And there is no celebration from there is no celebration whatsoever from the West Ham players, and even the crowd seemed to basically not celebrate it. But we are 1-0 ahead. Mikel Antonio, not a hint of offside. Oh, look at little dance from Mikel Antonio. Isn't that exciting? It's 1-0 West Ham. I'm slightly shocked. Played around wide on the left-hand side for ages. And it's a really good cross. I tell you what, fair play to Said Benrahma. That is a good cross. He's put it basically onto Antonio's head to the point where he literally, if he had moved at all, he would have missed it. And just turns, bosh, in. You love to see it. It's West Ham United 1, Larnaca 0. Undeserved is maybe the way I would put it, but hey, an undeserved goal was a goal nevertheless. Worked well down the left-hand side to some extent and then just nodded in. We take it, ladies and gentlemen. We take it. Should put more crosses into the box? Yeah, maybe. Maybe. Do you know what we should... I'm going to say it, son. I reckon we should score more. Controversial, I know. Yeah, I've got a lot more to come if you want. I've got a lot more to come. Good to see you, Lee. I hope you're well. Hope you're having a good day, mate. Benrahma. Ooh, deflects up. But yeah, no, I remember him saying, "What you got for me?" And like, my friend who lived on my estate was younger than me, so I just went, "Well, do you want a donut?" And he went, "No, I don't want a donut." And then I went, "Well, I've got about 50p left from the donut. If you want, we can go and buy you a donut." He went, and he was like, "No." And then his friend came and grabbed him and pulled him away and said, "They're eating donuts, not even chicken and chips. Leave them, bruv." Like that. So really what I'm saying is your assumptions on what I'm like as a person are 1000% correct. Control from Benrahma, lays it short to Lanzini. All good. Doesn't go for the range shot. I thought that was one of the few chances Lanzini could have pulled trigger from range. Fires for now wide right-hand side, whose crossing is pretty pointless, and we move. Declan Rice into the path of Benrahma, looking for maybe a 1-2 with Lanzini. Can't quite be found. All of a sudden, a little bit more speed in and around the box. Not really doing much for us yet, but, you know, but quick. More buses parked. More bus parking, please. Ooh, is he doing his Zambian national team? What a position. What a job. That sounds like something I would do when I do like a Football Manager save where I start without a job and then we'll stop playing after like 2 weeks of in-game time because I just can't be bothered. You know what I mean? Managing the Zambian national team IRL sounds like a pain in the arse. It sounds like a pain in the arse, and I have a maximum respect. Oh, they work it well, and then the cross-ins just to no one and Declan Rice hooks it away. It sounds like effort that I wouldn't want to put in, and I have to respect anyone who's in there putting in the effort. So fair play, Avram Grant, is what I'm saying. Fair play. Trouty, good to see you, sir. Hope you're well. Getting some joy down the left-hand side, West Ham. They keep sort of going that way. It's not entirely surprising, but it just is what it is. Playing the ball around very comfortably. All of a sudden, we are sort of in control of this game. Not to some sort of diabolically insane degree. We aren't putting it on them in a big way, but we are in control of the game. We're passing the ball around and keeping possession in quite an advanced area. In a very, very West Ham fashion. There is whatever, not quite zero, but maybe one penetration into the box, into the final third, really finding anything there. But hey, we have the ball, we're passing it around, and we're keeping possession. Again, if you're a neutral or you're Jack Elderton and have to watch this game several times, I'm sorry, because it is not exciting in any way, shape, or form. Lanzini with a nice little Scott Parker-esque turn. You'll have to see it. Pass it around to Ben Rama, who loses out. Oh, it's Fornals, who loses out instantly. Tries to battle back for it. Doesn't get anywhere close for it. And to be honest with you, trips over himself. You hate to see it, but still. Declan Rice is bored. He's now running around the pitch like doing the Robert Snodgrass press. He's very bored. Larnaca have managed to get possession to the point where we no longer decide that pressing is anything we really want to do. We're now just marking those passing lanes in the middle. You know, once you sort of get into that middle third, we just sort of... No, you guys can play football. We're doing that right now as Larnaca pass around in the middle third. It does feel a little bit like that. Pure witchcraft. I know. A headed goal from Mikel Antonio as well. I can remember one of those in the last 3 years, and that was like a couple of weeks ago. I don't know what's going on. All of a sudden, he's rejuvenated in the heading department. It's crazy. It's crazy. It's crazy. Sorry, I was just enjoying the inflection I put on that, so I decided to repeat it 3 times. Did they? I did not know that. Did not know that. Can I even name a Zambian footballer? I don't think I can. That's disgraceful from me, if we're being honest. That's disgraceful. I should have at least one. I should have at least one in the back of the head, just in case you need it. Do you know what I mean? And I've got nothing on that front. That's disgraceful. We'll see, Elaine. We'll see. What's weird is I would have thought it was completely done and dusted, right? But for some reason, over the last 2 weeks, I've been thinking about it more and more, Lane. And I'm not going to lie, I reckon he might come back. You know, I'd still think he won't, but there's something in the back of my mind that's now saying he might come back. Fornals tries to lay it forward for Kera, can't quite make it work. It's going to be a throw to West Ham in an advanced position, almost the corner quadrant. Sam summing it up. We've scored a goal against the team that last season we would have thought would have beaten with ease, and Antonio, despite the lack of any other celebration, does a dance. You're not wrong. You're not wrong. Isn't the guy at Leicester Zambian? Who's the guy at Leicester? Well, you'd hope so. That's the entire point. Well, you'd argue this is the entire point here as well. Fair, yeah. No, I've talked myself out of that. Fair play. Fair play. Is it West Ham, or are you doing the opposite, or are the opposition doing well? I don't think they're particularly playing incredibly. Dakar. Is Dakar Zambian? If so, I know one. It's Patson Dakar. I've got a Zambian footballer, ladies and gentlemen. I've done it. Thank you very much. I don't know if he's Zambian. I don't know where he's from. I tried to buy him for Manchester City last night on Football Manager. They said no. These things happen. But, you know, I don't know where he's from, so maybe he is Zambian. Love that. If so, there we go. Look, I'm not going to say Larnaca are playing poorly. I think we're playing poorly. I think we're playing very poorly, although we've got to go and look a bit comfortable since then. However, I don't think they're playing that particularly well either. They're playing sort of fine. Not really out their skin, not really making it happen. They're just sort of okay, right? I don't know. Ooh, looking for a swaz from range from Larnaca. It's blocked on the outside of the area. They maintain possession of the ball. This is a good position. They try to put it in a second time in Glazer, and it's easily held from Areola after a deflection. Why do I know that name? Mwepu. Why is that? Was he playing for Southampton? Am I mad? What's going on in my brain? My brain has lost everything today. I couldn't think of a single Zambian footballer. Earlier, something else happened that I can't remember now because my brain apparently has died, so I can't even remember the thing I can't remember. Bro, I think I'm struggling today. I'm struggling today. Do you know what it is? Here's my excuse, right? As I stutter my way through that, here's my excuse. I woke up at 9 a.m. today, and I think at this point I'm just quite tired. Oh, it was close. Someone else picks up the ball. For once, we get the ball on the floor in the center of the park, just outside the area. He sort of turns, goes for a quick shot early. The fact that we've managed to get the ball to Fornals in that position so easily, and yet the vast majority of the time we're passing it out wide and whipping in. Bro, we should and could be doing this more often. We really could and should be doing this more often. Like, the fact we aren't doing that consistently, the fact we just literally went whoop, whoop, and we were in with a shot on goal, which we could have maybe done something more with, but the fact we did that so quickly, my God. Anyway, Downs plays it to Declan Rice, who's again got bored and decides to charge forward. He finds Mikel Antonio, controls it, hits it. Oh, it's two. Mikel Antonio. I'm going to have to look at that again, but there's 2-0 up. That is a hit from Mikel Antonio. Declan Rice gets a bit bored, right, and goes charging forward. You know how he does. It's the things he does, you know. It's the things he does. He comes flying forward, just charging around, you know, headless runs. You know how it be. Lays it off to Mikel Antonio, who sort of controls it really awkwardly. Bloody hell, fair play, Mikel Antonio. He sort of controls it really awkwardly. Is for some reason give him time and space to turn around and is not physically manhandled at a point, which is what they should have done. Although, to be fair, giving space to Mikel Antonio to shoot from range is probably a good idea because the vast majority of the time, he isn't going to do that. But he opens up his body and hits what can only be described as major swaztekers straight into the top corner. Fair play, Mikel Antonio. The swerve on that is... That's a good fin. I'm shocked. That is a good finish. I'm genuinely shocked. I did not know he had it in him. How has he managed that? How has he managed that? Fair play, Mikel Antonio. If you'd asked me, Mikel Antonio double, a header, and a really good shot from outside the area, I would never ever have picked that out. Not now, not ever. Wild. 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 Maybe. The halftime whistle goes. It is West Ham United 2, AEK Larnaca 0. And I'll be honest with you, a game that started quite slowly and was quite poor for us for a long period of time, all of a sudden we seem very, very comfortable in and creating way too easy. I think at this point, this game could go. Look, just keep up some pressure. Maybe get another goal in the second half. Make sure that we're sort of in a good position. Yeah. Elaine, by the way, do you reckon Phil Brooks is going to come back? Do you reckon he's going to come back? I meant to ask Elaine, but I think I got distracted. Do you reckon? But yeah, I'll be honest. That was a long time there where I felt like that was very awkward. I felt like I didn't feel like they were playing particularly well, but I felt like we were playing pretty awfully. And if you'd said who's going to score here, I would have said Larnaca for maybe half an hour of that game. And just in the sort of the moments leading up to the goal, all of a sudden we looked a little bit comfortable. And since then, we have found it so easy to play through them. And I'm shocked to some extent that we have. I'm quite shocked. But I'll take it. Like I say, it's not the most thrilling performance you've ever seen in your life. I think if we can just keep this, as Geo was saying, here's my bet for what he'll say in the halftime bit, professional. If we can keep it professional in that second half, and come back with a decent performance, I'll be happy with it. I'll take that, you know? It's Terry and the real AJ. I wish AJ would come back, man. I wish AJ would come back. Hello. How are you?
I'm good, mate. We're winning 2-0.
Yeah, I think. How's he managed? Who knew he had it in him? I mean, look. If there's one thing you should tell, if you're an opposition manager, if there's one thing you should tell, just go and annoy him, just muscle him up. He'll fall down. He'll be fine. Just do it. And they backed off, but fair play. He just swazzed it in, top bins, no stress. It's like flipping.
Incredible.
I don't know what to do with him. I felt like, Gia, for the first half an hour of that game, I thought we were crap. And I thought if you'd asked me who's going to score, I would have said them. I don't think they were playing particularly scintillatingly brilliant, but I thought they were the better team. I just thought we were also rubbish. And then since then, I don't know. It seems almost too easy, you know?
I feel like in the first half hour, I think we were almost trying a bit too hard. Like we had to show that we were the Premier League team, and we've almost tried to turn up and play a bit like Man City, and we just couldn't do it. We kept misplacing passes, whatnot, and they were a bit more direct. They just got the ball and just thought, right, let's just get at West Ham, and I never really felt that we were in danger of conceding, but they'd certainly had more shots and more in and around our box. But in the last 10, 15 minutes, we just started to go a little bit more direct and just speed up a little bit and just cut out all this passing stuff, and it worked really. And you know, Ben Rama's cross was quality, and superb header, fantastic finish by Antonio. And between the first and second goals, we just started to just calm it down a little bit. Let their centre backs have the ball. We'll sit on the halfway line, wait for you to come to us. Then when we get it, we'll start knocking around and stuff. You imagine. I mean, if they score first in the second half, it's game on again. But it's very much job done already for West Ham so far in the first half. So I'm happy with the result. I don't think it's been that great, but we're winning. I'm happy days. This is what it's all about.
Yeah, I agree. I think if we can get a third, I think the game is sort of done. Like you say, I think if they get one back, then it gets a bit squeaky, and I don't think we've been defensively strong enough to where I can sort of just sit very comfortably. There are some games, and the chat get very annoyed at me when I do it, when we're sitting deep and I go, nah, we've got this is fine. For some reason, this game doesn't feel that way. I think we've been just a little bit shaky enough to where I'm like, they could conceivably get a goal here. It might not be some sort of screamer, but they could do it. However, having said that, I think at 2-0, I'm not concerned. At 3-0,
no, I'm not bothered. They're going to have to attack us now.
Very true.
You know, when I don't know any of the players, obviously, but Estelle and the build-up said that they'd, you know, before the game, he said Farage is the one to watch. Well, he's not even in the team. You know, they put someone else out there to sort of perhaps a bit more because of his defensive attributes and stuff. So if that is the case, they're going to have to now put on slightly more offensive players and start to come at us a little bit. There's no point in them coming to London with a 2-0 deficit. They're not overturning that at the London Stadium. They've got to score tonight. And And that should suit us. That should suit us down to the ground. It would be even more space for the likes of Benrahma to run into. I think the problem we've got is we're very lopsided tonight. Very left-hand heavy. Creswell and Benrahma down there. Fanals is only looking good when he comes in field. He hasn't done anything good out on the right-hand touchline yet. But when he comes in and he gets a bit closer to Lanzini and Antonio, he's picking up some good pockets of space. So there's not a great balance to us, but that's the sacrifice. We want to play these players. We want to get these players minutes. That's the result of it. Something's got to give somewhere. So there's a little bit square pegs and round holes with Fanals out on the right, and I think it's showing a little bit. But we're 2-0 up. Moyes will be buzzing. That's exactly what Moyes wanted, to be in the lead at half time. We've still got a couple of gears to go yet. If we want to, we're not going to have to do it.
Yeah, I agree. Just before I go off and leave you, Gio, for a second, I'll remind you all to subscribe if you haven't already and hit that bell notification button, because we upload videos every single day, and we're the only West Ham channel last season to do a watch along every single game. Gio and I were speaking earlier, there may even be a double upload tomorrow. That's what you're missing out on if you don't subscribe now. We don't know yet, but it may happen.
It depends entirely on how early I get up, because we've got a lot of videos tomorrow.
Which is very fair.
We've got a lot of videos tomorrow morning. On you go. We've got a lot of videos tomorrow morning. We've got to do the player ratings for this game on Patreon. Then we've got the Villa preview, and then I'm recording with an Aston Villa fan at 12:30. So between the preview and the Villa fan, I'm going to try and do another video for channel tomorrow. So just 5 hours of pure videoing and then editing.
What more could you possibly want? So make sure to subscribe and like the video. Anyway, I'll be back in a second, Gio.
Right then, how are we all doing? Let's see what you're all saying. Alan says some of the stick Antonio was getting up until his goal was poor. Must be hard to get up for a game like this, but we controlled it, scored twice, not conceded. Don't know what more people want. I'll be honest. I'll put my hand up, Alan. I thought I was one of the ones giving him stick. I thought he was dreadful up until he scored. I say 50-50. There was some 60-40 battles in Antonio's favour. He was losing out on them. Antonio 2 years ago would have been thriving in this game from this start. He would have been relishing that physical battle with their centre-backs. I thought he was too easy. I thought they had him in his back pocket, essentially, but he popped up with a fantastic header. And just before that, he did really well to sort of set up Fanals' shot, or Lanzini's effort it was, but Antonio battled, got it down to Fanals, who then gave it to Lanzini. But I thought Antonio was playing poorly up until his goal. I'm one of those people. But that second goal is stunning. His first goal is really, really good as well. His first goal was fantastic. It looks easy, but to guide it into the far corner, just pinpoint accuracy to some extent, I thought he was really good. Anyway, yes, I know, shame on me. Well, it is shame on me, because I'm not going to change my mind. I can't sit here and say, oh, yeah, I thought Antonio had a really good 45 minutes. I don't. I think he had a really good 15 minutes and a poor half an hour. It happens. It's not the end of the world. Anyway, Joshua says, hope we ring the changes soon in the second half. Keep some sort of rest for. I think we will. I think we'll wait a little bit. If we make it 3-0, I'd imagine Declan Rice will be one of the first ones substituted. Hopefully, Cornet comes on for Benrahma, to keep Benrahma fresh for Villa, as you allude to, and then Scamacca for Antonio, just to get Scamacca a bit of game time as well. I would be keen to see Lanzini play the 90, Downs play the 90, Fanals possibly play the 90 as well. I'd be keen to just let them have as much of this game time as possible. Roger said the opposition is even worse than you could have imagined. This game's got zero bearing on Villa. Now Antonio's score will have to suffer him in the Prem. They are crap, aren't they? We were bad for half an hour, but it was two poor teams for that. And honestly, I wasn't that worried about losing this, because while we were playing poorly, I thought, we are playing this bad, yet Ariola hasn't had a save to make. So I was quite calm. Hammer 999 says you can criticize a player then praise him when he does well. Pathetic sometimes. Oh, that's you told, Alan. Back in your box. If someone's crack scores well, he doesn't mean he played well. Antonio was poor, but 2 excellent goals. Sumo said Antonio's decided to show up, it seems, tonight. Wayne would like to see Scamacca get some proper game time. Dean says Joe Cole and Carlton Cole are saying how great he's been at half time, while Bo thinks he's been the man of the match so far. Do you know something? I wouldn't say he's not man of the match, by the way. I think if a striker scores 2, he's done his job, hasn't he? The striker's on to score 2 goals. And so arguably, I think you can be the man of the match without being the best player throughout the 45 minutes. That makes sense. Depends on how you gauge it, I guess. Holmes says we're playing 3rd division standard team. Nothing to get excited about. Derby County was a tougher cup game. Pfister is a little bit concerned about Teal Ketter. Swad says, does this mean Ings doesn't start? I hope Moyes still plays Ings in our next game. Mark says, poor marking for the first goal and Antonio not closed down for the second. It's a worse side than us. Playing 2 defensive midfielders and Lanzini as an 8, it seems, in possession. Yeah, I agree. I think Lanzini's having a good game. I know you can only judge it so much because of the level of opposition, but some of his touches have been lovely, and was 1 or 2 where the opposition player's been breathing down. He's been physically touching him, but Lanzini spun away with the ball and created a couple of yards for himself. I just love watching Lanzini play football. I'm a Lanzini fanboy, absolutely loving it tonight. I think some of his touches have been really nice. He's not been perfect, but there's going to be a bit of rustiness there to get rid of, and but some of his control is he's just such a good player. Dranconian says, I worry that this will cause Moyes to start Antonio in the Premier League and he won't perform the way we need him to. Justy P is agreeing with myself. He would have took Antonio off before he scored. Lewis said, if he's fit enough, get Scamacca on, he'll get a goal or 2 and get some confidence. Yank says he doesn't care if he scored a couple. He's got no business starting up front over Scamacca and Ings. In or out the box, I think it looked just out to me. Just out, which I assume would be his first ever goal from outside the box for West Ham. Ralph says, can't get enthusiastic. You know Moyes will bang on about it if we don't beat Villa. Right, let's see what you're saying. Lewis says, let's get another couple of goals. Return tie will basically beat our friendly. I think Alan was, he goes, Alan said, I must admit, when I bought tickets for the home leg, I was expecting a slightly more competitive game. Yeah, see, this is where the club had a bit of a blinder, really, sort of forcing people to buy the tickets before the draw was done because of the possibility of this happening. Getting drawn against a side that isn't a headline grabber, and B, the tie being over before we play at the London Stadium, which is what it's possibly looking like. So I get why the club did what they did. Lewis says Lanzini and Fornals always link up well together. Quite like to see Lanzini and Paqueta in the Premier League sometime. Spooky says Antonio's got a different presence to Ings. I mean, I agree with that. They're 2 completely different types of strikers, really. Dylan is loving Lanzini as well. He'll miss him a lot when he leaves this summer. Ings is on the bench. Danny Ings is on the bench tonight, so yeah, he can play. Obviously, he's just rotated. He's rotated out. That's all. Bobby's asking where we'll finish in the Premier League. I don't know, to be honest with you. We'll deal with it. I'm trying to stick to the game. Don't get distracted, you. Gad says, but for what it's worth, 17th. Gad says, I'm glad that West Ham are winning, but I'm sad there's been no fires or chairs thrown onto the pitch. Malik says we should try 2 strikers while we're up. There's no reason not to try. Callum saying he's getting a little bit nervous about the Villa game now because of Antonio. I find it quite sad, actually. I don't blame anyone. I do not blame anybody for thinking this. I get your line of thinking, and I'm not saying you're wrong. I just think it's sad that Antonio scored 2, and a lot of us are getting a bit worried that that might mean he might start against Aston Villa. Just don't know. There's something not quite. Don't know what the word is. It's almost a bit unromantic, isn't it? Mancunian says Antonio's been our most effective offensive player for 3 years, but fans seem to hate him. I don't think they do. I don't think they hate Antonio. I think there's a lot of respect for Antonio and a lot of admiration for what he's achieved. I just think a lot of people think there's better options at the club now than Mikel Antonio. I'm one of them. I am one of them. I think he's been a brilliant servant. I think he's obviously going to go down in history books. He just made more history tonight, equaling the goal scored in European football for West Ham. I don't hate him. I think he's being a wonderful player, but that's the problem. I'm speaking past tense. I was watching that first half hour thinking Antonio 2 years ago would have bullied that defence, and he was being bullied for the first half hour. And I just thought this is a shame because he would have thrived on that physical battle that the Cypriot defence are offering him up tonight. And he scored 2 fantastic goals, but doesn't mean he's won every duel. He hasn't. He's won about 2. One of them almost worked out Lanzini scoring. He got the effort away, but yeah, I don't think it means people hate him. I think that's harsh on people that have an opinion, which is Scamacca should play over Antonio.
That's fair. Gio, the second half has just kicked off, so I'll
has it? Oh, bloody hell, I'm well late.
I'll let you run off. Thank you very much. If you want more of that, ladies and gentlemen, then I would highly suggest you come back full time, where Gio will be doing a live match review with Gonzo on this very channel. However, before then, you are with me for the next 45 minutes. It has kicked off. No changes at halftime that I can see, or that I saw. Not a single one. So, yeah, we'll see. What am I stacking on? It was a Tesco Bourbon Cream, is what it was. Now, you could ask, Charlie, why have you got an entire packet of those on your desk? The way I live my life is the way I live my life, my friends. But I was eating a Bourbon Cream. Very hungry. I'm very hungry at this stage. Be interested to see again how this second half plays out, because I think as comfortable as we are at 2-0, obviously if we get a third, I think this game is done. So yeah. Declan Rice just not comfortably cancelling that one out, but we come away with it. And AEK have come out, Larnaca have come out on top. Ooh, Antonio almost managing to get a nod on, doesn't quite work out. Yeah, ball gets played in there, and Larnaca were on top of us, they're making it a bit awkward to the point where we did have to boot it long. Thankfully, we managed to win a throw-in out of it somehow, rugby style, just big yards gained down the left-hand side. But yeah, I'm surprised that's worked out. Which is definitely not true, but we'll take it. We'll take it. Sumo, listen, it's not true at all, is it, really, for being honest? Sumo, if we want one, there is a bell here available. If we choose to use it, I thought I would bring it out from the fridge. That way I don't have to run and get it like usual. There are bells available. But will we need one? Probably not. Probably not. My God, Lewis, I'm sorry. I'm sorry, Lewis. My thoughts and prayers are with you, my friend. The amount of times we score a goal, I look at the chat and everyone's like, "Oh, Charlie's behind." So I apologise, sir. Oh, Ben Rama, that's a really nice ball around the back from Mikel Antonio. He's there, hits it with his weak foot. Oh, off the inside of the post. It's a really good move. That sort of counter-attacking move is exactly what we were just talking about at halftime. AEK Larnaca having to come out, and again that passing through the middle, I was talking about how we could just do it a lot easier than we're making it out. Ben Rama, really nice through ball, just perfectly weighted into the path of Mikel Antonio with the outside of his boot, takes a touch, steadies it with his right, hits it with his left, second touch, inside of the post, so close. Really nice shot from Mikel Antonio. That would have been beautiful. 3-0 that early on in the half, just end it there, would have been absolutely beautiful. And I think the commentator would have said it would have been perfect hat trick as well, which, yeah, header, left foot, right foot would have been nice. We've got another opportunity. Antonio finds Pablo Fornals. A little bit caught up with Lanzini there. Doesn't quite work out. Ben Rama on the left instead. Cuts inside and shoots it well and truly over. But I tell you what, knocking on the door. Hello, who's in there? Oh, it's us. You know, very close. Very close there. 3-0 feels vaguely inevitable at this point. He's thinking it's the Norwich game all over again. Ronda, it's a sunny day out in Norwich, in Antonio's mind. You know, he's gone to Cyprus. He's felt the sunny vibes. He's gone Norwich. You know? I don't know. What the hell am I saying? Who knows? It was very good. I haven't watched it all yet, which is infuriating me because I've been so busy editing this week. I haven't had the time to really sit down and enjoy it fully. But from what I've seen, everything I've seen of it, I've really enjoyed. And everything I've seen, spoken about the bits I haven't seen, were great. I really need to get back on it. I need to finish that at some point. I should hopefully finish the big... Actually, I'll tell you what, Dave, tonight, sometimes he's in the chat. I don't think he is now. I haven't seen his name come up. SCW. There's a wrestling channel on YouTube, SCW. Sometimes he's in the chat. He's a West Ham fan. Really nice guy. I'm going on his channel tonight. I think we're doing a Q&A. I'm not sure. I think we're doing a Q&A, but I'm on his channel tonight doing a live stream at 9:30 about wrestling. So, that'll be a vibe. But yeah, I need to watch the rest. Lanzini, a little bit bullied there. Couldn't quite get the pass he wanted into the path of Benrahma. Can't quite get there. They're looking to try the through ball Larnaca through the centre there. Doesn't quite work out. West Ham easily and comfortably get on away with the ball. Tell you what, defensively, I think we could have been better tonight. Ball forward to Mikel Antonio, who goes down. He's holding his knee. He looks a bit uncomfortable. I think he's going to stay on. It's weird because in those positions, they've clearly been told to be on top of Antonio. When he's in the sort of centre of the park, he does look very in pain there. When he's sweet, you follow them, then you'll see. But yeah, I'm going on there tonight, so that'd be a vibe. I'm very looking forward to that. I'm just looking forward to talking about wrestling. Do you know what I mean? When Mikel Antonio is in those positions on sort of out, basically nowhere near the box, they've clearly been told to be on top of him because there's been a couple of times they've had these little niggly challenges from behind. But the vast majority of the time, I don't know, when we're in good positions where I think you should be on top of Antonio. I mean, I guess you could give away a free. Oh, bloody hell! Again, they get some joy down our right hand side. They whip the ball in, and Declan Rice under no real pressure heads it away. But yeah, maybe you shouldn't go for Antonio in those positions because he will go down, and you could potentially lose a free kick or penalty or something else. But I just feel like if you do it in those areas, you're going to stop him. Whereas in around here, I don't know. Whipped in from the left-hand side from the corner. Unconfidently bundled away. There's a shout from the home end about handball. West Ham come away with the ball regardless with Syed Benrahma in the centre. Lays it through. That's a nice through ball pass out to Pablo Fornals, who can't quite get past his man and gives away a free kick in the meantime. Not bad play, but again, could have done better. There's a Larnaca player down. There's shouts for handball at the other end. I think it was Kera was the guy who was maybe accused of it. We're looking at the free kick Pablo Fornals gives away. Yeah, it is very clearly a free kick, to be fair. The ball gets whipped in. Nah, it's underneath Kera. I don't think it hits his hand. I think it definitely hits his thigh, and I don't think it hits his hand on the way through. It was in an awkward position, but I don't think it was. Who knows? Got no idea. No idea. My gut says my gut says Scamacca's signing was informed by Rob Newman as opposed to more by David Moyes. But David Moyes had the go-ahead for every transfer. I'm very confident in saying that David Moyes would have had to say yes for every transfer, which means he would have had to say yes for Scamacca. Looking at it again. Well, maybe it's Pablo Fornals. There's a hint of handball in there. Again, it deflects onto him. It's still not handball, but you could potentially make an argument at it. He handballs it. It's on BT Sport 3, Rude Geek. It's on BT Sport 3. Oh, that wrestling channel. Oh, I thought you meant the game. SCW. I'm not sure I don't know if it's called like hashtag SCW. Is it called Steve's Wrestling Channel? I can find it. It's SCW. If you type it in, hopefully it should come up. It's blue logo. I think it's called SCW, the wrestling channel, I think is the full title. But if you're into wrestling, come hang out. I'm sure it'll be fun. That one. My camera was focusing. Nope. But you can see it's a blue. You can see blue logo. You can see. How much do you pay it? I pay them a reasonable amount. Again, very much not my channel. Dinked into the box, headed away from again. They're getting a bit of joy and space down that down our right-hand side. They're getting a bit of space and joy, finding consistent sort of dinks into the box. The crosses aren't particularly venomous or vicious or well-placed. They're sort of just lofted into a position, sort of lofted into the sort of general zone, which again would make sense. I mean, Stel, who was on the who was the fan that Geo did the opposition preview with before the game, I think it was yesterday, day before, can't remember. He was saying in the chat before the game that Inglezu isn't, I think it was Inglezu who picked out, who's not usually a left back. I think they're not playing a winger as well. So you can see when he gets into those positions, it's a little bit, I don't know, it's not the most incredible thing you've ever seen in your life. Declan Rice going down there. He gets fouled about 2 times in that build-up. There's the first one he gets fouled. Oh, there's another awkward one on Downs as well. Pardon me, sorry, my stomach's going wild. He seems to be moving okay now, thankfully, but there was a moment there where Declan Rice looked injured. 2 snaps in a row. Yeah, Antonio was holding his calf. Ladies and gentlemen, Gianluca Scamacca is about to come onto the pitch. I can't believe it either, but David Moyes is currently having a conversation with Gianluca Scamacca, Thomas Souček and Jared Bowen, who are all ready to come on. Thank you very much, Acid. Thank you very much. Very kind of you for the £2. You don't need to do that at all. And stayed for wrestling, yes. I mean, you wouldn't stay here for the football, would you? Let's be kind about it. I'm a stupid man. But wrestling, hey, I'll take that. Thank you very much, Dave, by the way. That's very kind of you. You did not have to do that at all. I'll put your name in the thing now. But yeah, Antonio's going to have to come off. He's holding his calf. He's going to have to come off. I really should just set up the thing that does that automatically. But at this point, I just type it in every single time. What a shot. I'm just looking at Antonio's second goal. My God, how has he managed that? But he looks like he's going to be coming off and Scamacca coming on. I will say I'm happy if I would quite like to see Scamacca stay on, ideally. I'd quite like to see Ben Rama stay on with Bowen on one side and him on the other, around Scamacca. If we are going to carry on playing the 4-3-3, that would be really nice for me. I really want to see people who can get in and around and make nice runs off him. Not that Pablo Fornals doesn't do that necessarily, to be fair. I think Pablo Fornals' runs are maybe... Like, my man puts in ultimo effort at all times. But I think that little bit extra in around there, yeah. Yeah. What? My brain is saying your name is... Am I wrong by saying Dave? Am I completely baffed? I know the... do you know what? I'm having a mare today. I'll be honest. I'm having an absolute mare today. Just in all aspects of stuff. I'm just having a nightmare. Downs is really struggling as well, so maybe that's what Souček's coming on for. Very exciting, David. Very exciting stuff. We're gonna get a triple sub from Larnaca as well, of which I will try to tell you what's happening. God knows what is, but we'll give it my best. Lopez is coming off for Nikolic. Secondly, Antonio's just standing by the subs, just waiting to come off. Casato is coming off for Farage, who's that player who's been picked out by a couple of different people as one to watch for Larnaca, a dangerous player. He's coming on. So we'll be seeing where he sort of comes off. And finally, Mamas is coming off for Altman. And now a triple sub for West Ham. Although the referee seems to have... Amazingly, the referee seems to have... Okay, no, apparently we're playing on insane movements from the referee. Like, utterly, he's refused West Ham. He has refused us the opportunity to make a sub for some reason. I'm not entirely certain why. Cresswell, who seems to also be coming off, I think, or maybe it was Flynn Downs, but I think it was Cresswell, alongside Mikel Antonio, was just stood by the subs, like ready to come off and make the subs happen quickly and all that. And then after Larnaca make their triple sub, they all sort of turn and he blows the whistle to say continue with the free kick. And sort of just refuses to let West Ham make the sub. I don't know why. Maybe there's some weird rules about this. The first sub is Pablo Fornals coming. No, it's Ben Rama who comes off for Jared Bowen. So you'll probably end up seeing Pablo Fornals switch over to the left-hand side, I would assume. Because he comes off. Antonio is also coming off. And Declan Rice comes off. So Rice, Antonio, and Benrahma come off for Scamacca, Bowen, and Thomas Souček. Thomas Souček. Ball had to go out and play again. Yeah, but what? But why? What? Do you know what? I don't know. I don't know. I'm just lost. I'm just a lost guy today. I'm going to change the name of this video to Confused Man Watches Football. Open brackets, gone wrong, close brackets, or just something, bro. What's the point? My brain is just... I don't know what's going on. Played out wide to Jarrod Bowen, instantaneously picks up the ball, a little bit of awkward control, and then tries to charge at his man. Flynn Downs carries it on, who's stayed on the pitch. Glad we're resting Declan Rice at this point, I guess. Yeah, I don't think he needed to stay on, if I'm being honest. Little bit of build up down the right hand side, does well, finds Jarrod Bowen in a good position. Scamacca's there, tries to make some space. Jarrod Bowen hits it, it goes wide. Scamacca very frustrated, he didn't get the ball. He was in a good position there, but Jarrod Bowen does well to just take on his man. Fornals has gone over to the left hand side with Bowen on the right. He instantly picks up the ball, starts driving at the defence, takes it past his man and then hits it, tries to bend it in that far side, can't quite manage it. Scamacca sort of not doing the suck it. He was just sort of like, the ball. I needed the ball. You know, and like mud. I'm in the mud. I'm in the mud today. You're not wrong in Collingwood whatsoever, mate. You're not wrong. Also, Collingwood. I don't think I'm spoiling it. You're the person who came up with the rugby formation, right? Because if so, I'm trying to figure it out for next week's Hamalytics on the Patreon. I'm pretty certain it was you who said the rugby one. So exciting times, exciting times. I sort of alluded to it at the end of the last episode, but that's what we're doing next time. It's the rugby formation. God knows what's going to happen with that. Gianluca Scamacca playing wide left, that'll be fun. Picks up the ball outside the area, lays it short to Lanzini, a couple little step overs, then lays it off. All looking for potential 1-2, couldn't quite find it with Scamacca. And it's going to be a free kick to Larnaca just outside the area. Yeah. Although you've got to change it. You've got to change the year every single time. So change it to 2023. So when people type in 2023, it still comes up. I clicked on a video the other day. I can't remember. I was trying to do something with editing. I can't remember what it was. But the title was something 2023, and I clicked on it. And like the first thing I noticed was the upload date was like 2020, sorry. And I was like, it's the kind of effort I respect. You know? Yeah, I don't know how the hell I'm going to do it, but we'll figure it out. Because when I spoke to Jack after the show, and I was like, I'm going to need to think about this one. Don't know how to do it, but I'm going to have to think about this one. Oh, a little bit of awkwardness from Larnaca. Garen Cresswell charging it down, who's picked up the captain's armband since Declan Rice went off. Big boot forward from the goalkeeper. Ends up at the head of Kurt Zuma, who nods it down. Good interception from Thomas Souček in the build-up there. Again, trying to just play the ball forward. Jarrod Bowen does his classic running backwards manoeuvre. You love to see it. It's good to see, even in European nights, under the lights in Europe. Finds Lanzini. Lays it short to Flynn Downs. Heavy first touch. Can't quite take it away, although good pressure from Lanzini, and Downs allows Souček to just intercept that one, just tackle it quite nicely. Finds the ball out wide to Pablo Fornals on the left-hand side. Cuts inside. That's a really nice ball in. Oh, Scamacca was there. I tell you what, as good defending there. It was their number 4, I think. Scamacca instantly fouls him. Scamacca, what can only be described as Phil Jones-esque defending there, goes to try and just runs across to him like a cannonball. Just no technique, all vibes, just straight into the back. Really nice ball there from I think it was Pablo Fornals looking for Scamacca, and I tell you what, he hooks it away well. Skamaka almost shocked that the ball didn't land at him there. Really nice work though. This feels like it feels like Skamaka's going to score. It feels like Skamaka's going to score. He does seem to sprint backwards. It's very impressive how fast he goes. Very impressive how far he goes backwards. How fast he goes backwards. Retish is saying 5-0 in any case. Big predictions coming in. I respect it. It's a handball against Lanzini. Yeah, it's very clear. It's not good. To be honest, I think he is very good, but I think he's very specific. I mean, Toby's saying Haller another wasted talent. I think Haller was more. I think there's a lack of dynamism, right? And I think the problem is when you look at Scamacca or Haller, is they certainly don't fit David Moyes' formation. And I think if you watch them in a team that suit them, all of a sudden they come alive, and you go, "Oh my God, look at these players! It's just incredible." But the problem is that's just not what David Moyes does. And I feel like it allows us to sort of judge them more harshly. Sick the corner for Larnaca. We haven't had a single one, incredibly. It allows us to sort of look at it and go, nah. But I think all you need to do is just put them in the right formation. All of a sudden, they just come alive as this incredible talent. I think when you look at Scamacca, he has so many good attributes to his game, but just none of them specifically suit David Moyes. I think But I also think if you were to put, say, Scamacca in, I don't know, if you were to do it the other way around, right, and you took, who was Scamacca playing for last year? Sassuolo. If you took Antonio and put him in and Scamacca's place in the Sassuolo team of last season, it would be incredibly different, right? It would be incredibly different. He wouldn't look like anyone, you know. Similarly with a lot of people, a bit of argy-bargy between Yakolis and Bowen. Some shouting back and forth there. Jared Bowen goes down under a late challenge from Yakolis. Well, actually, he doesn't. He goes down after the second one there, to be fair. This game's getting a bit bitty. It's getting a bit bitty. Intriguingly. He's not that good. It depends, though, right? That's what I'm trying to say. I think it depends. I think if you're saying, Ethan's saying Scamacca would do what Haller does if he needs. The thing is, I don't think Scamacca's as good as Sebastian Haller. I think Sebastian Haller is a better. I much prefer Haller to Scamacca. I think there's a lot of things to like about Scamacca, but I do think Haller is a better footballer. I don't think he has the same ceiling as Haller. You know. Haller going to Ajax and then going on to Dortmund, I was like, yeah, that makes sense. He's really, really good. Scamacca, I think, is a little bit different. But I do think he is a really good footballer. But it just... If he is staying, Downs gets a yellow card, probably correctly. It's getting very bitty in the midfield now. Larnaca have been quite niggly for a while. And we seem to be just fully embracing that now. And Flynn Downs just comes flying across and clatters Altman with zero regret. But yeah, I don't think Scamacca's going to go and become one of the top goal scorers in the Champions League or anything like that. But I think he's so good at such specific things. And I think if he is to stay, our next manager really should be someone who understands how to get the best out of him and Paqueta and stuff like that, as opposed to David Moyes, who refuses to get the best out of them. And I think that's the big difference, is we have a manager who refuses to get the best out of them. And that is not necessarily a diss on David Moyes. That's just a philosophy. That's just his way of being, you know. De Zerbi probably, for example, we came up against Brighton and got absolutely smashed by them, right? I think De Zerbi would probably refuse to get the best out of certain players as well. Interestingly, by the way, De Zerbi, former Scamacca manager, but there we go. Yeah, it's an interesting one. It's an interesting one, right? It's an interesting one. And it gives me a couple of minutes to fill the stream, so I appreciate it. Thank you very much. Lanzini gets the control, but can't quite find the pass to Fornals at all. Really poor goalkeeping kick there from Piric. Just blaps it straight out. 20 minutes to go. 20 minutes to go. It's very comfortable 2-0 right now. That initial burst we had where it felt like we could get a third very, very quickly has sort of dissipated now. Injuries with Antonio sort of taking their toll. I think we're seeing a lot more attacking threat and intent, to be fair, which is weird to say because I do believe, I believe we're less likely to score, even though we're showing more attacking intent. Jared Bowen coming on he's been very impactful. He's picking up the ball. He's driving with it well. Taking on, we've had basically nothing down the right hand side for most of the game, and now all of a sudden we pass him the ball and he just runs with it and goes. Which makes sense. You've moved Pablo Fornals over to the left. You've got Jared Bowen on the right. He essentially takes up. Ooh, it's not a bad ball in from Larnaca, and a header at the back post isn't great from Farage, but he does manage to angle it on target at least. Areola forced into making a save. Pardon me. But yeah, I think I don't know whether a third is likely anymore. Oh, awful stuff from Kurt Zouma, but bloody hell, he's got away with that. Ball gets played to Kurt Zouma very calmly in the centre of defence. Oh, nice flick by Scamacca there. Tries to make a run off the back of it. Played out wide to Bowen and then instantly backwards, and the ball slows down. But yeah, the ball get played there to Kurt Zouma in the middle of the park, in his half, and just an awful piece of control. Almost allows them straight in. Thankfully, they slip and he manages to turn and recollect it before anything bad could happen. But that was bloody scary. It was bloody scary. Good to see you. How are you, sir? Deckers, I hope you're well, bro. Second half has been significantly better. The first half an hour, I thought we were poor. I don't think we played very well at all in that first half an hour. I think they probably could have gone ahead. They weren't playing particularly well, Larnaca. They were playing fine, but they were better than us and we were very bad. We then scored. Mikel Antonio scored a header, and you should see his second goal. His second goal was a... Oh, Yakolis just trying to dink it in at the back. It's going to be a corner to Larnaca, another. You should check out Antonio's second goal because it's really good. And since then, we've been really comfortably the better team. Not incredible, not brilliant. We've just been the better team. And now it feels sort of like we're just sort of waiting for the game to be over, to be honest with you, bro. But I hope you're well. Hope you're having a good day. Good to see you. Whipped into the box from the corner from Larnaca from their right-hand side. Again, another shout for handball, but again, it didn't really seem like anything. They come away with it. They collect the ball on the halfway line and go again, Larnaca. Just liven it up. Just liven things up, Get a bit of spice in your life, I can respect it. I feel like we should do that more often. I feel like Moyes should do that. But instead of miscontrolling the ball in the area in a very scary manner, make a sub. Sorry, I was caught on loop there. I think the thing is, Martin, I think we are. The total attempts have just come up on screen. There's 8 apiece. It's not like I think to some extent you just play to your level or play to your opposition's level. I think you don't come out in this game. Do you gain anything by beating them 5-6-0, really coming out and throwing absolutely everything you have at it? Not really. You probably get more winning a game comfortably 2-0 and not putting yourself in a really stressful position, right? And so I think as much as this game, and I think the first half an hour were bad, I think since then we've looked so comfortable that I almost don't think it's worth going wild about, I think it's just a calm, professional performance that, does the job, Nothing thrilling, nothing that exciting. Is what it is. We go into the second leg, 2-0 up at home. You feel like that probably gets us into the quarterfinals. Good to go. Ooh. whipped in from the left-hand side, almost managed to nick their way in. It's going to be another corner to Larnaca, this time on the left-hand side. But it is what it is. I'm fine with that. Yeah, no handball there. No handball there. We're getting the replay of the handball call from the last corner. Nothing there. It's going to be another West Ham. It's going to be another Larnaca corner. This time from their left-hand side. Whipped in. Ooh, little nod on from the front post there. Bounces about, but comes to nothing. Larnaca still have possession of the ball on about the halfway line. But yeah. We should. And the thing is, we are comfortably beating them. Right? We are comfortably beating them. I think that's the difference. Is all played across to the back post again. Little dink across. They're getting, like I said, they're getting a little bit of joy. That I can't act like I'm not noticing. It's down the side where Tito Kehrer is, but they are getting consistent joy down that left hand side, and those crosses in are just, they're not great. But Yakolis there just tries to dink it towards the back post, loft it towards the back post, and Aaron Cresswell comes across and just neds it out for yet another corner from the right-hand side this time. Larnaca step up, our left, their right. Whips it in. Lofted it into the edge of the area where their captain and one of their centre-backs just goes for a big volley on the edge, and it goes flying over. Lucas Paqueta coming on for Manuel Lanzini. Ionix, thank you very much for the $1.99. It's a full-time fund. It's very kind of you for some cheesy things when we need them. Thank you very much. It's very kind of you. You don't need to do that whatsoever. We have one here just in case, but I don't think we're going to need it now. I think it's just going to go cold or go warm, I guess. But yeah, much appreciated. You did not have to do that at all, so that's very, very kind of you. Yeah. That's kind of the vibe, right? That's a good point. Qualification is the only thing that really matters, to be honest. Silkeborg beat Steaua Bucharest 5-0 twice and didn't get out of the group. Yeah. I mean, don't get me wrong. I think performances are important. Like what Gonzo said at the beginning. I know I've mentioned this already in stream, but what Gonzo said at the beginning about performances almost mattering more than results tonight, I do agree with. But this performance has been good enough. You know, I think the first half an hour was bad. The first half an hour was very bad. But since then, we've done exactly what we need to do. And doing exactly what we need to do in Europe got us all the way to the semi-finals last time and could get us further this time. And in a season where we've had pretty much nothing to cheer about, that's nice, good passing play. Instantly getting involved, nice passing play there from Paqueta, moving the ball around swiftly, linking up well, almost managing to get into the final shout. But yeah, I think realistically, that's all you need. That's all you need. You know? I'm at the stage now where I really need to pee. and I'm going to hold on, but it's a problem. It's been a problem. It's not, yeah, look, maybe I am slightly, Obsidian Curse, maybe you're right, and maybe I am a little bit, what's the word I'm looking for? Maybe I do have a little bit of Stockholm Syndrome, but I don't think we're playing the percentages. I think we're just doing fine, you know? I don't necessarily feel like, we need to, like, as long as you do enough in these games, as long as you do enough, like, don't get me wrong, would I prefer us to come out in this game and banter them off 5-0 and look like the greatest attacking threat that's ever happened? Yeah, of course I would. I would much prefer that. But realistically, like, it's not the end of the world. I think if we're playing well, then we're playing well, you know? And I think since that opening half an hour where we were nowhere near good enough, I'm totally fine with this. I'm completely and utterly fine with this. It's boring as all hell from a standpoint, and from a watch-along standpoint, I prefer a bit of vibes as well. But, you know, from a West Ham United club level, getting a solid victory where we've got a bunch of good performances, a bunch of decent enough performances, some good goals, through to the next round. Light work, really. Sumo, thank you very much for the £3 case of a bag of Snickers. I will, Sumo. Thank you very much. That's very kind of you again for £3. You did not have to do that whatsoever. I'll put both your names in the thing now. Dave with the 50, vibes-wise. It's the thought that counts, and I'll be taking that. Thank you very much. Thank you very much indeed. Not good to hold it in. We'll see. We'll see. Let me put the names in the thing first, and then maybe I will, because it's only gonna get worse. It's only gonna get worse. This might actually break the stream screen. Oh, bollocks! I didn't need to open that. No, close. I didn't need to open. Oh my god! If this looks like it breaks and goes crazy, I've accidentally opened up another streaming software and After Effects. I didn't need to do that, and my computer always slows down when I do it. Let's try to do this while this works. Let's see if that one. We'll see if that works. Oh, I didn't need to do that. Bollocks! Oh, now it's downloading updates. No. Paqueta, oh, that's a nice ball. Oh, just a little bit too far ahead of Souček. It was a really nice idea. Almost managed to vibe our way in. Oh my god, ladies and gentlemen, Maxwell Cornet is about to come on. Maxwell Cornet exists. What is going on right now? Cornet, Scamacca. Excuse me. This is not the vibe I was thinking. I said at the beginning of the stream I'd love to see Scamacca, and I thought that was relatively likely, but Cornet I did not think we were going to see at all. But I believe we might be about to see Maxwell Cornet come on. I'd imagine for 4 hours you'd make your thing. Oh my god, it's playing. I forgot what my streaming software was set for. My resting stuff has just started playing in the background. There we go, it's gone. What a vibe. Maxwell Cornet is about to come on, ladies and gentlemen. What a time to be. Who is he? I don't know. We're about to find out, I guess. About to find out. Cornet injured in a few minutes. Scarily, P-Gads. You might be right. You might be concerningly correct. Foul wide on the left-hand side against Scamacca, who's not had much joy since coming on. Pablo Fornals is the one who makes way for Maxwell Cornet. My God. After the rarest injury a man in France has ever seen, on comes Maxwell Cornet. Pablo Fornals comes off for him. That's exciting, isn't it? That's exciting. You look at the side, it's mostly what you would expect us to be playing probably against Aston Villa. I would hope, dear Lord, do I hope Thilo Kehrer doesn't play in that game. Right back. But outside of that, for the most part, this is probably the team you would pick against Villa. I think you switch out Downs for Rice, but outside of that, you'd probably switch out Emerson for Cresswell maybe as well. But outside of that, Zuma, Aged, Souček, Paqueta, Bowen's on the pitch. You'd want to see Scamacca and Cornet. I don't know. It's interesting. Because you'd imagine Ben Rama starts on the left, right? Probably. There's no real other. I mean, he could play Fornals, I guess, but I don't know. Interesting. He did look quite small, didn't he? I don't remember him ever being big, but he did look small. But maybe he just has a tight shirt. He did look quite small. I know, crazy. I can't think about it whatsoever. Matthew, only you can know that, my friend. I possibly couldn't say. Bloody hell, it's John Osborne, aka Virgil, off of that there Claret & Booze. How are you, sir? Hope you're well. Hope you're right. If you haven't already checked out Claret & Booze, I'd recommend it. They're good lads. They did good work. Hope you're well, bro. I'm still shocked Maxwell Cornet exists. Who would have thought? Whipped in once again from the corner, nodded away. Nothing to be said. Nothing to be spoken about from that. Oh, Smacker instantly tackles. He's not had much joy since coming on. If we're being honest about it, he's done fine. It's not like he's played badly, but it's just, you know, wide right on the hands. Blah, 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 blah. Do you know what? Ignore everything I've just said. It's not worth it. They tried to cross the ball and it's going to be another corner. Ignore all of those words. Yeah, I don't know about Skamaka since he's come on. It's just not happened again. We're trying to play him like we are Mikel Antonio, right? He's deep. He's trying to come flying out. You know, it is what it is. You know, it's not playing to his strengths, really. He's back in the box because every single man back for corners is just what we do. He can't then effectively really counter-attack. Tilo Kehrer going flying into a Larnaca player. Does it a second time. I'm surprised he manages to get away with that as no foul. And West Ham can come away the ball in a really good position. Paqueta trying a through ball with his left foot from range, trying to just bend it into the path of Cornet or Skamaka. Can't quite make it work. But yeah, I don't know. It's just not happened for him since he came on. It's just not happened for him. But again, we're playing very low intensity we're playing very low intensity while 2-0 up away in the Europa Conference League. It's not like he's coming on and having to score, right? So he's more just there to get minutes, if anything. I think it's not the best performance you've ever seen in your life. It's far from that, but in the context, fine, whatever it is, what it is. Maxwell Cornet on the ball. Lays it short out wide to Souček, back to Cornet. Trying to work their way sort of around and into the box. That's nice ball into the path of Souček to Paqueta. Looking for a little dink into the path of Jared Bowen over the top of him. Moves out. Has no one got a new iPad? I read that as iPod. My brain went back to 2008. You know? Like the Hoosiers were playing in my head. Goodbye, Mr. A. Do 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 do. That sort of stuff. Big vibes. Big vibes. Strong vibes. What a song. What an album. Kehrer gives away a foul for a rogue arm. I'll be honest with you. It's somewhat bought by the Larnaca player, but there we go. We go on. I always get a bit let down, you know. I always romanticize the idea of the teams that we face, like Larnaca and Jeju and FC Lusitanos. You know, I always romanticize these teams, you know, and then we face them, and I'm just like, oh, niggly challenges. Oh, he's dived a little bit there, and I'm like, I wanted a bunch of, you know, Spanish second division midfielders passing it around like crazy, you know, and, you know. 14th corner for Larnaca compared to our 0. No, that's not me being OTT. Whipped in from the left-hand side, the header just on. They've really not done anything from any of these. Oh, nice little flick through the legs there from... Oh, bloody hell, that almost went in, having said that. Aaron Cresswell going for a scissor kick. Oh, Maxwell Cornet, let's go. Oh, and a great ball out wide to... It's Paqueta. This could be 3. This is such a good opportunity. Paqueta can't get the finish. It's a decent save in the end, but it's too close to him. Cornet, that was beautiful. All of a sudden, out of nowhere, Maxwell Cornet with a little flick, spin around the side of the player. That was beautifully done. Larnaca come up the other end of the pitch looking to try and create something. Thomas Souček just blocking them off there. They're passing it around relatively comfortably with not really much pressure. Well, that's really nicely done. It's a good opportunity for them now in the middle of the park. Scuffed out. Second shot straight into the hands of Areola. That's maybe the most dangerous opportunity Larnaca have had, arguably. And the shot comes in and eventually it goes straight at Areola. It's a good hit, and Areola just manages to smother that one out and stop it. At the other end, another great opportunity as well with Paqueta. Just can't quite find that finish. Just pretty much straight at the goalkeeper, unfortunately. The build-up to it was beautiful, and Cornet does incredibly. I tell you what, we were talking in that first half about the idea of, players potentially earning a right to start in the next game and stuff. Cornet does unbelievably well there, and especially if you're in a counter-attacking system. Cornet gets flying in with a slide challenge. You'd love to see it, and he chases him down. I tell you what, he might have been injured for 400 years with the rarest injury that anyone's ever seen or something, but he's sprinting about like a mad right now. Obviously, he's only got 10 minutes to do it, but he's looking lively. You're talking about someone who's earning a situation. That was so good. The way he touches the ball, spins, and then the through ball to Paqueta was so nice. Larnaca again getting a bit of joy. It's a little bit scary how much joy they're getting. Oh, I've just seen the replay from Cornet, and then the through ball is brilliant. And he's one-on-one with the goalkeeper. And I tell you what, the goalkeeper does well. I can't act like he doesn't. The goalkeeper does pretty well. He just stays up. He makes himself big. Paqueta's sort of running straight at him, so the angle's not perfect. Paqueta should be doing better there, in my opinion. He should be doing better there. Again, that's not really his strength, but he should be doing better. He should be doing better. Yeah, I think he should have tried the chip as well. But the goalkeeper was standing him up. The goalkeeper did well in that situation. He should have done better. To be clear, I'm praising the goalkeeper. 6 minutes of added time, by the way. I'm praising the goalkeeper here, but Paqueta should have done better. Having said that, goalkeeper does well. He stands up well. He's got his arms down. He makes himself big. He does well in that scenario. But Paqueta should be doing better. Downs. Oh, Bowen even was trying to play the ball through to Cornet. Couldn't quite find him. Scamacca comes across and gives away a free kick again. I know what you mean, Draconian there, saying it almost feels like I can't be mad at any of these players for being off, and then you look at Cornet. Cornet, who comes on and instantly just does huge amounts of bits. Cornet looking good. Cornet channeling the power of gens. Pleased for Cornet. He comes on and just does bits with the energy he's saved for 4 months. Yeah, that's what I want to see what Cornet doing. All right, I want to see what Cornet can do. All right, yeah, it's a good shout. I mean, yeah, it's weird. Again, we're talking about that idea of a bit of Stockholm syndrome in the positions that we're in, right? And how, what can you do? The players, they're just not doing it. And you sort of forget what it can be like when you have someone who's just in form and up for it massively. And all of a sudden, bang, Cornet gets on and he's just going for it. Which is awesome to see. I highly doubt it. I see why the link is there, but I highly doubt. I don't see why he would, while he's still got an opportunity to come up with Middlesbrough, I don't see why he would come to us, if I'm being honest. If we stay in and he doesn't come, if we stay up and they don't come up, then I could see why he might, but yeah. Right. The thing is, it's a bit like how I can't pronounce Souček and Sofal and how I mess up every one of those names. Paquetá is the correct way of saying it. Paquetá is the correct way of saying it. I, however, say Paqueta because I'm in the moment and I forget every single time. And then every time I say Paqueta out loud, my brain goes, oh, snapshot from Larnaca dragged wide. Every time I say it out loud, my brain goes, it's Paquetá, you need to remember to say it. At some point, my brain will probably kick into full gear and I'll say it, but it is what it is. Made a poor game sound good. Thank you very much. Listen, watch along mine. Not that I'm on it, but watch along. It'll probably get views. Although, actually, if we do it like we do these, because you can't show this, it would just be me just describing it. Oh, it seems to be going poorly. Are we belling, ladies and gentlemen? Are we belling? He will be. Yeah, I know. Stress. It probably will happen. So yes, probably. Big ball forward for Larnaca, controlling it. Larnaca have had a flurry of shots towards the end of this game, and I'll be honest with them. Like, it's quite worrying how easy they're getting shots. Not a lot of them are in great positions, but all of a sudden towards the end, they've just started creating a flurry of opportunities that don't reflect super well on us. We've got 2 minutes left of the game, 6 of stoppage time, so we've got just about 2 minutes left of the game. And they've not come close, but it's not it doesn't fill me with confidence that all of a sudden they're creating so easily. I don't know. Thank you very much, Anna's kind. I'm Brazilian. Charlie is correct. Ooh, wait. So which one is? So, wait, Mary Poppins caps. Is it Paquetá or is it Paqueta? It's Paquetá, right? It's like the emphasis is on the tar, like Wingardium Leviosa. It's Paquetá, right? I think it's what I've been told. I could be wrong. Give it time. He'll drilled into him. With just over a minute left, let's get those man of the matches in, shall we? It's a game where we've had enough to where we've actually been able to genuinely pick one. Put who you think should be man of the match in the chat right now, and then whoever gets the most amount of votes as I scroll through and read them. There's no science here. There's nothing science. We go on vibes as I scroll through. Whoever I think gets the most amount of votes wins the Hammers Chat Man of the Match award. While you're all getting in there, I'll remind you all to subscribe if you haven't already. We were the only West Ham channel last year to do a watch along every single match day. We are here. Build up, watch along, review. There's links in the Discord, all of that good stuff we provide for you. So hey, subscribe so you don't miss out on those future things. Hit that bell button, you know. And while you're down there, like the video because it helps us out massively. We did beat the 300. I didn't ask for it too much, but we did beat the 300. So what a time to be alive. What a time to be alive. Let's have a look. Shout out to Conte. You know, she's done really well since leaving WWE. I'll tell you that much. Right. Anyway, full-time whistle goes. It is West Ham United 2, AEK Larnaca 0. Very quickly before the watch along, let's have a look at who wins the man of the match. We have Lanzini, me. Thank you very much. That's very kind of you. Lanzini, Cresswell, Lanzini, Cornet, Areola, Cornet, Moyes, Benrahma, Lanzini, Antonio Lanzini. I think it's definitely Lanzini. Congratulations to Manuel Lanzini on winning the Hammers Chat Man of the Match award. And thank you all for watching. It's been a good one despite the turgid display we've seen. It's been a fun old game, and I'd highly recommend you all come back for the next one because we'll be playing Aston Villa at the weekend. One last thank you to Sumo Hamster, Ionix, Acid, Dave, GP, the Oxby, Mary Poppin Caps, Bobby66 and Susan for all of those donations into the full-time fund. It's very kind of all of you. But ladies and gentlemen, that is the end. Make sure to stick around because the review will be live in just a few moments' time. Thank you for watching. Comment on your irons and we'll see you next time. I'm off to pee. My God, do I need to. Cheers, everyone. Bye.